is that after making a mistake, we need to face up to it. We need to tell the truth. That is integrity, telling the truth and honoring promises no matter the consequences.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me a god. 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 I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. Wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me. Put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grid 6 feet like Kenny. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
I'm called of God. Called of God. And Tim Ballard told me he'd been called of God. Some wild-eyed prophet like...
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you. A man with a different one shit like.
Sorry. Okay, now that's how I do it. Okay, we're trying to figure that out because Donna well, hey guys. First, hey, how's it going? How's your weekend? Hot cocoa? Well, almost. I have a little hot cocoa and I go blank as soon as go live. Cappuccino. So it's a mixture because I was out. I only had 2 scoops of the cappuccino. Anyways, happy Sunday. How's it going? Love me tender. I know, right? Gross. Freaking abhorrent. These people. The audacity of these people are so like-minded. It really is, and I'm like, oh my God, that whole birds of a feather flock together. It's not even lying. It's on point, on point. Hey, okay, I'm just going back up to the top here. Hey, S.L. Conley. Hey, TC. Will be fun time. Dominion is copied from Mormonism. It makes sense because oh yeah, well they are Mormon, so. That pick is gold though. Oh, right. So I worked all last night, because I'm backwards. And, I worked on all kinds. I'll show them to you because that's what I worked on. It was different thumbnails. And I was focusing more on Glenn Beck and David Barton. Y'all, I'm like, oh my God, that little innocent dude on all those Preparing a People and Firm Foundation flyers. He's on the Southern Poverty Law Center. He's a long-standing guest. He's a resident on that website, which is for extremists, right-wing extremists. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's news. You heard it here last. Straight up. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, and he's an event. I always have a hard time with this word. Evangelist. Okay. Toast to that one, right? There's more where that came from. Oh, it is gold though. It got your attention, right? I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna whatever. Just some ridiculous photos. I mean, they're ridiculous anyways. Y'all know I'm gonna go every which way anyways. And I appreciate y'all for that. They're all in one end of the same. They are the same to me. I cannot separate. Just like they can't separate church and state, I cannot separate none of them from Lori and Chad. Can't do it. Won't do it. Oh, that was a good little joke, right? If y'all haven't listened to Lynn Packer's episode 33 on OUR and All Involved, you should. Is that the one with Russell Ballard? It was not. It has like is it Disney characters or something on it? Let me know because oh my god, we'll have a watch party right now. I was actually rewatching for the bazillion time already since October 11th of 2023 this year. When Lynn Packer was a guest on Mormonism Live. It's Mormon Discussions, but it was Mormonism Live with Bill Reel and Radio Free Mormon, and I caught something that Lynn said, and I was like, this is why it does me good to watch things over again because, I mean, I forget as soon as I'll rewind it and I'm like, okay, I got to watch this part. I got to what? And then as soon as it plays, I'm just like, ADHD, right? Sucks. But, hey, you watched the interview with the Mormon whistleblower, their former investment advisor, David Nielsen on 60 Minutes. Shady. It is so shady. And the church was just basically did not want, and I read the whole SEC filing from the sec.gov. I went and checked for myself. And I mean, 28 years, I believe they went without, oh crap, we forgot to pay. We forgot to report. They could really, the Constitution is hanging by a thread, which is one of Glenn Beck's. That's how I've come to know him. Because of how Chad and Lori use code words. And I was like, and I didn't know how, and I still don't because I'm not Mormon and I never have been. So it was just brand new to me. The whole vernacular, the Reddit, all that stuff, thee, thou, high, I don't do all that. I'm like, what? I don't have the attention span. I never was. I even in the Bible, I would go and read some scriptures, but don't ask me to memorize them or know what's who and what's what. It's not happening from this girl. But yeah, the Constitution is hanging by a thread, and he was on the Young Turks, which I mean, again, I'm not political. I'm still not. I'm like, oh crap, now I got politics, religion, and murder. Woo. Corruption and all the fraud, all the things that go into that, cover up. The biggest conspiracy your brain can try to wrap its head around, and that's what this is. That's what this is. So yeah, it sounds like a conspiracy theorist, a conspiracy theory, and it just is what it is. It's the subject matter. There's some Daryl Brooks for you. Subject matter jurisdiction. I'm just kidding. I just always have to say that now because of that dude. But yeah, they didn't want to. So the church did not want to report. They didn't want their members to find out. And why are they saving? They're saving it for the second coming. I'm telling you, they're going to usher in a new world, and it's not going to be one we like. But that's a conspiracy theory, until it comes true, like Lil Brand said. But hey, everybody, how are y'all doing? So glad that you guys are here. Oh, I do want to send our thoughts and prayers and well wishes to those affected by the storms I said it. Storms, tornadoes, real storms, not imaginary storms like Chad. But oh, that's horrible. I can't even. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to combine the two. Ah, they skew everything. But it's just terrible. Um, the tornadoes that touched down in Tennessee for sure. Was up and I saw KJ had posted like 36 minutes before I saw the post, and I believe she said it was her hometown. And I mean, I understand. Come home pregnant with Ashlyn, my baby, who will be 18 this month, right? On Joseph Smith's birthday of all damn days. Yeah. Anyways, and but yeah, we were evacuated for Hurricane Rita, which was back in '07. Okay. And I was pregnant, big and pregnant. And about we were the only house on our block that didn't have a tree in it from the hurricane. You know, Rita was a big one. She packed a punch. And it was hard because I was nesting in hotel rooms, like in we kind of just like vagabonds. I don't know. I was nesting in hotel rooms. I would put pictures up. I would have a dish station and I mean, just, nervous too. Just, you don't know what's what. No comfort. But we went home. We had the only tree. Oh, all right. Thank you, Miss Mojo Horizon. Thank you so much. I love green too. I'm so glad you're here. You rock. And I love you too. I do. I really do. Y'all are the best of the best. That's how that's how I know that there's a higher being, I'm just like, you just don't get this. But yeah, there was a tree, and I mean, just the very tip of I mean, it was just like doing like this, like when the wind would blow, So the tree didn't land in our house; it landed right at our house, barely. But 7 months later, our house burned down to the ground, and that was devastating. Ashlyn was then I was 7 months pregnant, and then she was 7 months old whenever our house burned down. And that was hard. That was hard, but it was it wakes you up. It definitely does. It made the front page of the paper. I was like, "Oh my god, insurance is good to have on your house, not on your spouses that you plan on offing." Okay? Don't do that. That's not good. Go have some reflection time or something. But just want to send love and prayers and good thoughts. And I wish I could do more. I wish I could send care packages or whatever, and maybe we'll kind of keep our ears out for that. Let me know. It sucks. It sucks starting over, but at least you have your health. You have you're alive, your family, you're alive. And that's for those who didn't lose their lives or their family. It's just devastating. I can't imagine having to mourn a loved one, the traumatic experience of a tornado. I'm freaked out by them. I'm freaked out. I used to be terrified of storms. Shocker. But it's scary, I had my grandma running all kinds of places one time. She lived in a mobile home, and I was like, "Grandma, come on, we gotta go." I was like 10. And so we and her sister lived, my aunt or whatever, lived a couple trailer houses down, and boy, we ran through the I don't know what for. I'm just a runner. It's just, I don't know. It's unpredictable. We had some thunderstorm come through last night, thunder claps or whatever. And I mean, they're payao, and I mean, I'm just like, okay, fight or flight, fight or flight, you know, just those things. I'd rather, it's nature. It's mother nature. Your 2.5-year-old grandson? What? What? Yeah, but that's so sweet. You have a little, that's a good age to, to, I like it when they first start, finding their little hands and, their feet. That's so cute. Yeah. Prayers to those people. Um, Oh, who's Wyatt? Oh, a lot. Somebody likes some Ballard and Reyes. It's okay. Oh, okay. So, anyways, we really do have a lot to talk about. So, I'm gonna just jump on in. Okay. So, but it's gonna take me some time because I am not a professional YouTuber, and I'm old. So there's that. And I actually think I have to open up a window. We're going to talk about Chad's Judge Boyce ruled on a couple of. Let me not talk and type. Hold on. I think I do have it open. Duh. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we have here. Make sure this is the right one. No, that one's from 9 months ago. Let me open this. Let me open this one. I have like 10 of these open. Reddit. I've been Redditing. Okay. All right, well, cool. I don't have to go to Facebook for these either. Let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, let me go share my screen. So, okay, I gotta find my damn window over here. Okay, man, it's a job. I tell you, it is a damn job. Okay, that present share screen. I'm walking you through it just in case you want to know what I'm doing. Right? I think, yeah, there it is. Now look at this ugly thing right here. That's old Jason Mao. Jason Mao. Malware. Jason Malware. Look at him. Murder and like child, when there's children that are murdered and you're like hanging in the same group of friends, this is what you look like. No time flat. He looks like he's been rode hard and put up wet. Speaking of storms and weather, right? So, let's see which window am I sharing? This one way over here. Okay. So Jason Mel, he wrote a children's book, okay? And so this is on the Lori Vallow, I'm sorry, Justice for JJ, Tylee, Charles, Tammy, and Joe. And so this is from that subreddit. And let me try and stop saying dumb. And so I thought this was just ripe, right? It's rich, totally rich. I just wish, you know what? It'd be different. Janelle's here. Janelle, I have mad respect for Janelle. Why? Because she doesn't act like she's holier than thou, because she's real. And because she's just, Janelle, you seem to be helpful and compassionate. You care. There's a difference. And so I don't get that from this dude. I don't get that from Melanie Gibb. I don't get that from all the other people at all. And it's just weird. It rubs you wrong. And it's been a continuous process of that. And it's just, I don't wish hate or anything on anybody. Not even these assholes. Not even these assholes. But it's like, acknowledge the fact that there were people on your watch or within your reach. You saw the signs. You had to have. If you weren't there, Jason Mel. Just saying. Billings, Montana is where he was alleged to be, that according to a flyer that looks like my 7-year-old made on his first day, in art class. I mean, it's very basic. It's vague. I'm not really buying it. And I hate to say that, but there's a lot of errors and stuff on it, like the dates, but it's the same weekend that JJ was murdered, and he's hanging out with the magician dude, not Roger Young. His name is Richard Young. So there's 2 Youngs and 2, and then his name is Richard Jason Mao, and so this other guy's Richard Young. So we can safely, it's safe to say that we can call them Dick. 2 Dicks. Just saying, Richard and Dick is short for Richard. So it's safe. Okay. Anyways, so I don't know. I don't like him. I don't. And he allegedly sealed Chad and Lori in the temple. I mean, if not, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Hexing him or something. Not really. But he looks like he's in a camper, but I don't think he is. I remember seeing his kitchen whenever he was doing a podcast with some dude from Idaho back in the day. And so this subreddit user says, I can certainly see where this came from. I wonder if he considers himself Duke. So this is from Amazon. And so they transferred it over to here. And they said, Duke is a good dog. He is strong and brave and loves helping the shepherd take care of the sheep. But when the wolves come and trick, oh my gosh, my washer's spinning or Leland's running, one of the two. But when the wolves come and trick the sheep into not trusting Duke, the good shepherd and Duke must find a way to chase the wolves away and save the flock. The sheep are saved from the wolves, and Duke learns about himself, his duty, and how the good shepherd feels about those who protect his flock from danger. Reflect much? Deflect much? Project much? I mean, I see some similarities in there. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. It's just gross. This person says, if he does consider himself Duke, he did a pretty terrible job of protecting anyone. High five. Thank you for sharing. I don't want to give this guy a boost to the algorithm on Amazon. How much is this book selling for? This person said $13. $13. Oh, and $4 on Kindle. I thought it was 13 and 14. My bad. Edited. The $13 is for the paperback. And do they really make kids' books in paperbacks now? That just doesn't seem right. I know my bonus son has one he was reading earlier. And she said, yeah, okay. All these, okay, this person said, and that all these folks must stop. Dry up this well of evil. Again, I mean, I'm going to shoot her some karma points whenever I get off here. This person said, so that's what he'll be hawking at future Preparing a People conferences or whatever they are calling this organization since Lori and Chad murdered a bunch of people, including her children. Poor Jason Mao, so gullible that he got taken in by Lori Vallow. Yeah, right. He's trash in my opinion. I hope his book tanks. I was like, you are so going to get some karma points, right? Coming to you. We're going to do that right now while we're right here. Anyways, this person says, I wonder when Jason Mao realized that Chad and Lori were bad for his business and started keeping his distance. Or did they abandon him first? Perhaps they didn't trust him with their special zombie stuff. He was actually high on their trust rating scale. Yeah. They were recording a PAP, Preparing People podcast in September, the evening when JJ was killed. Was Jason Mao still with PAP at that? I mean, they're all together. Preparing a People, Firm Foundation, Latter-day Media, Book of Mormon evidence, all those things. All the LLCs and the 501c3s. They're all one and of the same. Again, you cannot separate. I can't. I don't separate them because they all still run in the same circles. There's some that, will go and listen to Michelle McDermott. There are some who won't, and they'll go and they're more Stroud fans, and they just but they run in the same circles. It's I just stuttered a lot. And they just kind of weave in and weave out. Does that make any sense? I don't know how else to explain it, but I picture like one of those. Oh my God, I used to have one. You can do like, I don't know, a stenograph? No, what's that thing called? And you'd write and it would do like those, oh my, mandalas or whatever. Anyways, just gears. Think about it as gears. And that's exactly how they kind of lock into place in my mind. So, okay. Will they never stop? This person says, should be called douche. High five. This person said, quote, should be called douche, unquote. Now that is a good one. I as well am wishing that despicable scumbag nothing but the worst. That punk belongs in state custody. And this person said, barf. That's all I have to say about that. I'm confused. Who is this guy in regards to Lori Vallow? Ah, it's like, oh no. You gotta go take a refresher or, start over here. Jason Mao had Lori as a guest on his podcast. Chad talked about Jason Mao in a speech that he gave at one of the prepper conferences he spoke at. Jason Mao was also a speaker at these conferences. Jason Mao is the police guy that Melanie Gibb references in one of her police interviews. He's name drops a lot too, right? Oh, yeah, Jason, and Lori did too. He's lurking around the edges of this whole case. The police even took DNA samples from him. I would say just to rule him out, or that's what they said. That's how enmeshed that's how enmeshed this case is. Let's just say that. This person, wasn't he the guy that sealed Chad and Lori in the temple also, with Jesus as witness, no less? Yep. This person said, I've heard that, but I don't know if it's true. I don't know what IIRC means. Can anybody tell me? I don't know all the acronym things all the time. They claim that Moroni sealed them, and I think Jason Mao was supposed to be Moroni in a past life. So when they said that Moroni sealed them, yes, this is it. It's hard to know if they meant Jason or if they meant Moroni in spirit form. I'd love to have a definite answer. It's definitely roles. It's role playing. Okay. And somebody's Joseph Smith. Somebody is, Chad was the Holy Ghost. Well, no shit. Okay. I've read the priesthood, whatever you call it, the priesthood. I don't know all the terminology off the top of my head. It's a lot to keep up with. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's like their handbook. And I read that last night and I was like, everything that everybody has always said that Chad didn't have the authority to do, guess what? He did. And then some, because he served a calling in the church. He was serving a calling in the church. And then they excommunicated him day 2 into his preliminary hearing. Yeah. So that means every murder that took place was during his reign as holding a calling in the church as a ward clerk. So I believe, from what I know, is a ward clerk works under or with the bishop, and so it makes me wonder, was Rob Wood the bishop? I mean, I can't help but ask. I mean, nobody's like, hey, this is how it went, but no, people get pissed off instead because I ask. And you can go on with that, because I have the right to ask. They have the right to remain silent, obviously, and to backdoor everything, and just everything's so hush hush and quiet and secret. And it's not. My family's never coming back. So, there's that big elephant in the room. And I mean, it just is what it is. It's not to come at you or whatever. It's just to get to the bottom of it, the real story, not what everybody's peddling out because they're backstroking, trying to get the hell away. Okay. I mean, so what? You got caught up with some people who really did some bad shit. Doesn't mean you did. But then there are those who implicate themselves and they look super guilty. I'm just like, oh Lord, yeah. Y'all stink of the guilt, It's sad. Anyways. So, oh yeah, Chad and Lori allegedly went to the temple waiting room together and imagine they were getting married. JM wasn't needed. And that's according to Melanie Gibb's testimony at the trial, at Lori's trial. And so whenever she did her East Idaho News interview with Nate Eaton back in May of 2020, this is before the Tylee and JJ were found on Chad Daybell's property, June 9th, 2020. So a month before, Melanie went on what KJ refers to it as her East Idaho News extravaganza. Okay. And I mean, I really, to this day, I'm like, when I listen to it again or whatever, or reference it, I'm like, I don't remember hearing this or that. Like the kids are gone, they're not on this earth anymore. I did not ever, my brain, my heart, whatever the protection mode is in my body, did not let that information into my brain and to my acknowledgement. I don't know if it's like some kind of protection mode. It's like you don't. I was so tunnel visioned at that point in time. It was like 9 months, since they were missing. That's not including, what happened to my Uncle Charles. And I mean, that whole year is a blur. And yeah, it's nuts. I don't remember it still. I still don't remember a whole year. I'm like, wait, when was that? It really is terrible. So I'm probably going to get early Alzheimer's and shit, Lori, and some dementia, bitch. Anyways. Anybody that thinks she's a B word, go hit the like button. I'll wait. Anyways. But yeah, so Melanie Gibb says all that time when she was talking to Nate Eaton, which was basically, it was the infamous Reddit email. It was the same exact script from the infamous Reddit email. And it was Melanie Gibb. And so we have a different version of it. My mom did, because Nate emailed my mom prior to that, prior to Melanie Gibb's interview being released, or I don't know if he had already done it, did the interview with her. I don't know what order, but I want to say it was April. I think that's what the date said. And so every one of there's Anna on Hidden True Crime. She did a couple interviews with Lauren. I think one or two with Justin Lum. And she's remains anonymous. I mean, I don't blame her. I appreciate her coming forward with what she's come forward with. We're all just trying to make sense of it, right? But everybody has like a different version. It's just a little bit, like just, a little bit. But I mean, it's just that silly thing. I read it. And it just, I mean, I read it to myself many times before that, but I read it out loud and I videoed myself doing it in June of 2022. So a year ago, a little over, year and a half. And I died laughing, because I was like, Chad puts a portal in her closet. I mean, it just got me. And my kids were sleeping right there. So I was like trying to be quiet and I couldn't hold it together. And I mean, just sometimes that's what you got to do. It's so gross and egregious that you're just like, yeah, that's all I got. So I'm not ever offended by it. But Melanie Gibb lies is what I'm saying. And I mean, it sucks to be her is another thing that I'm saying. First off, and I mean, I have to kind of let the cat out of the bag right now, because there are, is it right here? Let's see. Okay. Judge denies prosecution motion. Trial will be held in Boise, Ada County. Yay! Can we just say yay? Less corruption. Yay. I'm so happy. I really am. If anybody wants to know. So let's look at this big loggerhead. Big loggerhead. That's all he is. Ugh, gross. Anyways. Okay. I don't know why Nate did not. So today, let's see, today is December 10th. And so this was December 8th. Now I remember reading about the other one, about this one. I remember reading about this one, but Jason told me right before I came on that East Idaho News had come on. Come on, Facebook, wherever you're at. Okay. It's taking a bit for it to load up. Yeah, I had read this one. I'm sorry. Same thing. Judge issued decision on whether Chad Daybell's trial will be moved back to Eastern Idaho. I was like, what? Because the way it reads, I was like, oh shit, no. You know, nothing against Rexburg and Fremont County and Madison County, but the church messed that up and tainted that jury pool, in my opinion. I wouldn't trust it. Just saying. I don't want to put that on the residents there, you know, either. Anyway, so this one says Chad Daybell's murder trial won't take place in Eastern Idaho. Again, yay. It will be in Ada County instead. In an 8-page document, in an 8-page order issued Friday afternoon, District Judge Boyce denied a renewed motion from prosecutors to reconsider a change of venue for the trial due to challenges in finding a fair and impartial jury. Yay! So Judge knows. He's right there, you know. He says, quote, the reality is, and the state would likely concede, that nearly every responsible, eligible working citizen of Fremont County capable of jury service has followed the Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow story. Why didn't he say Daybell? Anyways, Boyce wrote, quote, while the expense of conducting trial in Boise is immense, it is still less expensive than attempting and failing to seat a jury in Fremont County, only to thereafter return to Ada County. I like it. I like his train of thought right there. He knows too. I mean, it's his community also. And whether he goes to church or not, it's still, you're in a town of 20. It's like, I don't think it's higher than 28,000 people, you know, and it's highly populated or saturated. I don't know what to call that. So I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but it's a high demographic or whatever of Mormon. And again, nothing against, it's just, I get it that you want to have a jury of your peers, you know, but again, to me, church shouldn't have did what they did. They should not have sent letters out reminding their leaders in that ward and those wards and that community not to participate in trials and shit. So there's that. Anyways, okay. Fremont County Prosecuting Attorney Lindsay Blake and Madison County Prosecuting Rob Wood asked Boyce to reconsider the location following comprehensive media coverage in Ada County during Lori Vallow Daybell's trial earlier this year. She was found guilty. We already know. Chad Daybell faces similar charges with a trial scheduled to begin April 1st. A large number of prospective jurors will be necessary to ensure that the balance tips in favor of robust due process to Daybell. I hate all these damn words. Particularly in light of the potential for capital punishment, end quote. Boyce wrote, quote, Ada County, the most populous county in Idaho, has the resources to impanel an impartial jury and is willing to provide the facilities to conduct the trial. Boyce noted that he has conducted many trials in Fremont County and has never had any issues with jurors creating problems or serving faithfully. I do have to thank the grand jury, though. All the grand juries. Thank you for your service. He also wrote that the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, quote, is fully capable and competent to oversee a trial of this magnitude, end quote. And court clerks are, quote, dedicated, experienced, and responsive. In that quote. I'm not going to quote anymore, okay? Absent the concern about selecting an impartial jury not tainted by pretrial publicity, Fremont County would unquestionably be an ideal venue for the upcoming trial, Boyce wrote. Lori Vallow Daybell was extradited. They moved her ass down south. She flew south for the winter. Anyways, she went on her broomstick though. Yeah. Anyways, Arizona last week on 2 conspiracy to commit murder charges in connection with the death of a previous husband, Charles Vallow, and the attempted killing of her former nephew-in-law, Brandon Boudreaux. She was arraigned. We got to see it right here. She looked like hell. And she was shackled, and I enjoyed every second of it. Did you? Please let me know. I don't know. It's some kind of satisfaction I got from seeing her in her jail uniform, in her garb. And that's her outfit for the rest of her life. I got satisfaction from seeing her trip every time she trips, with those ankle leg shackles, whatever they're called. I don't know. I don't have to know what they're called. She does, though. Lori has to know what they're called. She knows. She don't prance anymore. She don't. I mean, really, when she walked into that courtroom in Idaho for the first time, when they extradited her from Hawaii, I've told y'all this story a bazillion times. She walked into the courtroom March 6, 2020, with a pep in her step, shoulders back, in her jail garb, in front of the whole world, nose up, head. I mean, just confident as all get out. And you don't see that anymore. I don't. It's slowly creeping in, and I don't know. That's maybe bad. Oh, I thought I was kind of showing. Hey, my bad. What's up? That is way too big. Hey, back that ass up. I don't know why my mouth is not dry, but it sounds dry. Does that make any sense? Hey, I'm sorry, you made me stop drinking. Angela says, "Oh yes, shuffle, trip, shuffle." Mm-mm-mm. I probably should be drinking water. You know how excited I told this to Jason last night. I was like, remember when they were so excited about getting their menstruals? Remember that? Remember that? I wonder if she's getting her menstrual right now with Shaquanda or what KJ used to always say, Jacinda. Jacinda. I'll make her bitch. Oh, let me say, hey, she still uses her high sing-songy little girl Mormon voice when addresses court. Yeah, it drives me nuts. I know. But can you, I try to picture her, or I have, since all this happened, like imagining what it would be like with the kids by themselves with just her. I bet she was like, Tylee, JJ, I mean, I've done it. I'm just saying, we're not all like, hey, kids. And if you are, I mean, cool. Just I don't know. Like when I named my kid, my two, I had to like kind of say their name fast, like I'm mad. I mean, they're babies, and I'm like, Zachary Ryan, Ashlyn K. Okay, it rolls off the tongue. First, middle, let's go. Shuffle trip wall. Remember that one? Yeah. That was I didn't see it, but I heard about it, and I'm a very imaginative person. I can picture things really well. Really, really well. I know he's not, thank God. Sean Reyes is not running for re-election. Let's just say that. Right? I can't remember where I heard it, but Lori talks about her relationship with good. Yeah. Oh, that's from her allocution, I believe. Oh, I mean, I don't know. Maybe she does in jail. I'll talk to her. Oh God, yeah. Sean is way too connected to Ruby. I'm sorry, Jody Hildebrandt. Also, know that it is a wise decision on his part. I think so too, Janelle. What do y'all think? Do y'all think he should have ran? Like, I wonder. I mean, was he plan? I wonder what his 10-year plan looked like. Was he planning on that, or is he like, oh snap, I'm just gonna kind of? There's a Homer Simpson meme that's coming to mind right now when he just sinks into the bushes. Yeah. And it's like this whole web of defunct. I don't even know what that word means, but it sounds right. Of just these deplorable, no empathetic, no, like they have no empathy whatsoever. They're like it's like a club of narcissists. I mean, I don't know what else to really call it besides not a cult because it's not. They're just like-minded people. They're not really like, I don't know what, again, I never saw Rick Ross. I appreciate his work. I'm sure there's a lot that I need to learn. But when I learned how he got into being a cult expert, I was like, wait, your aunt got defrauded? And so what? How, what? Where's the God thing? Where's all that stuff? And, but I mean, really, this is a cult right here, right now. And that's crazy, And it's just, that's a word that just has negative connotations big time. I'll rock it. Yeah, I think so too. But I mean, from following Len Packer, his YouTube channel, and AmericanCrimeJournal.com. Len Packer is the bomb.com at acj.com. And so his research or whatever, I already forgot. I already forgot. Oh yeah. And I actually have a clip of that, of a guy that Sean paid, allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly, just to cover my hiney. Where's it at? Okay, Sean. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. Anyways, but yeah, he allegedly paid a guy to smear his opponents, right? I know that ain't it. Okay, it's still thinking. I'm like, wait. Here, I'll show y'all what I've been, some of the things I've been working on. Like this. This is bothersome. This was over, this is Glenn Beck. This is the Tri-County Sheriff's Association, a fundraising event for the Tri-County Sheriff's Association, Tuesday, July 25th, 2023. That was just a couple months ago, at the historic Colonial Theater, Idaho Falls. Wait, I'm gonna show you the pictures of what he auctioned off there. And so this was in East Idaho News. Or no, I'm sorry, it was in shit. Where'd I get it? I'll find it in just a minute. Rexburg Standard Journal or something. And so the presenting sponsorship is $5,000. Program presented by company name. That's the gold level. Okay. And so I'm gonna go read this little info part right here. Don't scan that. Just kidding. Do whatever you do. The Tri-County Sheriff's Association is a collaborative organization representing sheriffs from 17 partner counties in eastern Idaho, with a shared goal of ensuring public safety and upholding the values of our communities. They work tirelessly to protect and serve. Your generous donation enables the association to implement vital programs and initiatives that uplift and safeguard our community. Together, we make a lasting impact. And so, yes, it's beautiful, right? This is not. This face right here is not, though. This is connected to, and not just connected, I believe, and I still am trying to pinpoint it. So I don't want to say for sure. I've heard it other places, but I've not been able to find it for myself. And I mean, I get kind of, with all the miles and miles and miles of rabbit holes that I plunge down daily, I wish that I could burn calories with that, because y'all wouldn't be able to see me, because I wouldn't be here. I'd be so small, because I peel out all the time in my brain. I'm always thinking, I'm always searching. And I mean, I enjoy the research. I don't enjoy who and what, but it's like kind of who I am, But anyways, the gold sponsor package is $2,500, name and logo recognition on, and it's like basically like Patreon or, kind of sponsorship packages. So they have gold, silver, bronze auction, and you should see some of the stuff that he auctioned. And so, again, he lives in Eastern Idaho. I'm just saying, he don't live there, but he has a big old massive, mansion house. Here we go. Okay, that's not really showing nothing, right? Hold your pearls. Oh. I don't want to introduce him just yet. No, I don't know why it doesn't do it doesn't do my pictures in order. Okay, I found this one on Pinterest. I thought it was interesting because I think this is the lady they arrest in one of those busts. I have to check this out, but her name was they call her Mom, and her name's Felicia. And so I have to go check this out. I had to clean up the picture and everything. It was real grainy. Like these, see how grainy these pictures are? So this is his wife, who I've heard. So this is just rumor. I don't know. I'm not confirming, not denying. Don't know. But it's alleged that she is Catherine Ballard's sister, making Glenn and Tim brother-in-laws. That's kind of a big thing, in my opinion. Let me get to some better pictures like this. I cleaned these up. And this was that code words that I had found a while back, about a year or so ago. And it was about just the code word. So I did all this research into Joseph Smith, the Mormon church, and how they use code words. And Jason actually found this, and it's from October 8th, 2010. And it's the Young Turks channel. And anyways, he's talking about Glenn Beck's Mormon code words exposed. And I'm like, well, there you go. It was just a good video for me to build a reference to kind of make my case, I guess you could say. And look, there's Tim with oh hell, what's his name? Was he the governor? I don't remember. I don't have the names right here in front of me. Okay, these suck. This is kind of what I was working on. This is Visions of a Glorious Thread, which is the name of the Pinterest thread that I need to read to you guys. But it just wasn't working right, And so I ended up on the thumbnail that we are on today. Do I go this way? Okay. Oh, here's another one. This one's a good one. Come on. Uh-oh, it's being slow. Oh, shit. Come on. I hope I'm not cutting out. Okay, I'm not. I don't think so. Governor Hatch. Okay, thank you. Go walk the dog. Let me, so we'll be right here. I think so. I don't know all the words, right? And so I feel so dumb in this realm and all of this, because I'm like, I don't know. I don't, labels are new to me in my world. This case brought labels, and I'm like, what is a conservative? What are y'all talking about? We just never had to talk about, or I just never was surrounded or enmeshed in this kind of culture. So it's been a culture shock. And so I sound so dumb. So, I mean, I just kind of call it as it is. But he's definitely a gaslighter. And I mean, I know, but so it's been no, let me start that over again. It's taken me a lot to it's enough to have to listen to Mike Stroud and all the elders, the brethren who have made all these talks. And I mean, just trying to learn for myself, what's what, who's who. How do I find out where Chad and Lori's beliefs differed from their church, their shared church, And that's where I bogged down because I've been there. Catherine Ballard, that is Tim Ballard's wife for now. But she ain't pretty. I mean, she's whatever. She's not so innocent, in my opinion, allegedly. Her and Janet Russin had that it wasn't even a registered nonprofit yet, okay? Right? I feel like I love Utah. I do. I love the people. It's just like, how do you stop a corrupt system? That's what I can't stand, is that corrupt entity and how it hurts everybody, people, and they don't see. And I mean, I didn't even see that for myself, because I just thought of it as all the other churches. And I didn't really know that much about all the other churches either, because I'm just never was a church member. I was raised Catholic CCD, didn't cling to it, wasn't interested. But anyway, so again, it's just different backgrounds. It's okay. Different strokes for different folks. But, it's just, it sucks because the first punch, is basically the church that your family loved and invested in, paid tithing money to, live their lives and their principles and all, that's the structure, that's how they try to live in their household. And, I don't really know all those words, but again, they're all ours. Seems weird to me. Yeah. They are all opportunistic. And to me, they're all just narcissistic, just like the church. How I look at that whole entity as like one big moving, breathing, uh thinking entity, and how they respond to things and how they deal with things. They don't apologize. They don't make mistakes. They're a narcissist is what they are. And that's my impression, is that the church is like what I would imagine a narcissist father does. That. And thank you, Beach Bomb. You rock, girl. Yeah, yes. Thank you, Beach Bomb. I'm sorry. I'm like, still want to know what's up with the adoption facilitation. That's what it is. For profit, Catherine was CEO of, but it was never registered according to Glenn Beck. And I even looked one day, and it's not registered. But yet, her and Tim, oh, my back is just out of nowhere. Where's that ruler? Right when you get old, right? Okay, better. Thank you. Not humble, right? Now, so there was a story that I had caught a while back. It was a couple years ago now, and there was this guy who was in Arizona. And when I saw his face, he was like a government. He worked for the state, some position like a treasurer or something. And he just had that cocky ass look, and I was like, he's Mormon. He's Mormon. How much you want to bet? And I just ran across that story again. And I mean, it's already been adjudicated. It's like has something to do with Arkansas and women that were making, having these babies and stuff, and they were just kind of not really $30,000 a kid, but some of the adoptive parents weren't getting. I mean, it was heartbreaking. They weren't getting their baby, and like a baby broker. And so, what's up with the baby brokerage and all this fascination with children? I mean, okay. I should move that picture. We got Tim's wanky hanging there. Oh, nasty ass. I don't know why this is frozen over here. That's really what the hell. All right, let me go over here. I have 3 of them open. Maybe that's why. Come on, Cletus. I have so many things I want to tell y'all about. This thing's slow though. Oh, and look, it makes copies, and I make a bunch of copies too as I'm going. There's something that, well, I'll tell you on a little bit. Okay, so I found this article, and he was on this is Glenn Beck, and he was on Right Wing. That's hard to say out loud. rightwingwatch.org. Beck, and this is back in 2015, May 12, 2015. And they put Beck, free community college is a government plot to enslave people through student loan debt. And while right there at face value, I'm like, yeah, it freaking is. But he goes hardcore with it. Okay. And that's extreme. Extremism is not good. It's right. I'm back at you, bud. Oh, these pictures suck. I tried cleaning them up as much as possible. Do y'all notice that like Google photos are really shitty now? Like bad. They're all grainy and stuff. They don't have any quality unless every now and then. I usually try to open them up in Safari, but yeah, there's an egregious power in the political priesthood, right? So this is kind of what I was working on, but now I was like, well, I want to talk about all of them. And so it just kind of is what it is. So here we are. Right. Let me get out of here because that'll be forever. Okay, so this one was interesting. It's gonna be a little grainy. I cleaned it up as best I could, but who is that? Who's that? That guy right there. This little dude. That old dude right there. That's as close up as I can get it. Let me edit it and maybe I can crop it. I need to crop it anyway. But that is Elder Ballard. It's just further light and knowledge for you and me. And I mean, we're not stupid people. We're not dumb. And I can't stand for somebody to underestimate my estimate. I don't like for people to underestimate me. I may not be quick and with the words and on top of things with, I'm just different. I'm just not hoity-toity. I don't know. I'm down to earth and I just like to cut up and have fun and joke. This is kind of the only out I get, besides just, it's me and Jason all the time and our kids. And I mean, and I like to make fun of these assholes because that's a really bad picture. But I mean, this is Glenn Beck, his son, and this is Elder Ballard, and this is Tanya, or I think that's how you say it. And that I believe is, I believe this is Tim Ballard's sister-in-law. That would be Catherine's sister. And this would be brother-in-law and sister-in-law, like two, let's say Beck and Ballard, they married two sisters, let's get out of here. Let's see. Oh my God. I should have brought me something different to drink. It's so thick. Yeah, this one right here. And so this got me though. Voices of Glory with Felicia, mom, and Glenn Beck. And so I looked through all this dude's pens and everything. And I don't know what BR is. I'm assuming don't come at me. I think it's British, maybe or somewhere. Maybe it's not here. Anyways, I didn't really dig too far into it, but just kind of pulling whatever, Voices of Glory though, not Visions of Glory, Voices of Glory. And I was just like, okie doke. I tend to flinch a little bit when Visions of Glory or whatever comes out. This is his wife and him. Let's see what else I got. I know I have quite a few things on tap. Oh, that was a mistake. I accidentally downloaded that one. Is this one better? Nope, it is not. Yeah, I have to kind of run them through and then run them through again. It's real fun. So, yeah, that's just me pointing. Okay. Again, people aren't dumb, right? I'm like, but here, you gotta look here. Let's see. And all I could really find, and that's another thing, is like these people have the scrub and bubbles hard at play for them. It's like the scrub and bubbles. If you can't find them at the store, it's because they have them all. They're like 404, 404 to go, please. And then they come scrub all your dirt off your site. Oh crap. I think I just smashed my clip, the rest of it. It fell. Yeah. I was like, what damn? Anyways, I'm graceful. I thought that was funny, that picture. Okay, it's like I over prepare is what I do. I finally figured that out today. I was like, I start tripping. Even though I've got it. I've got it all on my Canva app, trust me. And here we are in my Google app. I'm not even going that route. And I don't know how to fix that in myself. I really do want to. This is his house. Well, Glenn Beck tries to dump his Texas dream mansion as he forecasts. I don't know. I just kind of took video, screen record. Okay, I think that's it. Nope. Nope, it is not it. He tries. Let me stop it. Tries to dump his Texas dream mansion as he forecasts big economic trouble. Conservative King's sprawling lair includes its own golf cart garage. It makes me wonder who in the hell's house we stayed in when Uncle Charles introduced us, the Vallow side of the family, to Lori and her side, the Coxes. Okay. Because we drove up to Austin, me, mom, my son. I just had Ashlyn. She was a couple months old. Tylee was 3. Colby was the same age as my son. So all our boys had it above Conservative King's sprawling lair includes own golf cart garage. It was kind of like, hold on, let me look at this damn house. Where's that at? It was near Austin, Texas, though. And I remember, and I mean, I don't know why this sticks in my mind, but okay, so we stayed in like a guest house like this right here, what's on the screen. But it was like on I don't want to say a mountain, but a taller hill, I guess you could say, Austin. And so that was the guest house that we stayed in, but it was like that. And we stayed in that house with the Cox family, Janice, Barry. I don't remember siblings. I don't remember Adam if he was there. I don't remember Summer if she was there. I don't remember. I remember Tylee, Colby, and Uncle Charles and Lori. And this is back when they got married. I don't even know. Ashlyn was a baby, so she'll be 18 this year. Damn, that's a long time. And well, anyway, so it's I'm me. I'm just bold and no filter, right? And so that's just who I am. And I mean, Lori and her family, they had kind of the same. They can have the same kind of sense of humor, but not quite. Far distance in between. It's like they're judging you always. And so I remember, as I've gone through life, I'm like, okay, well, it's just something I'm insecure within myself because, yeah, I feel like they're looking down at me. And I'm like, maybe it's because we drink. Maybe it's because I drink, or whatever. And they're Mormon. And I don't remember that even coming up. I just remember the not drinking thing. And I was like, well, oh, well. And, but so the house we stayed in was a guest house. And I just remember this. It was like one of Uncle Charles's friends who was going through a divorce, and her husband owned something in Microsoft, some kind of chip. Again, I don't know. And so her house was being built at the very top of the hill. And I mean, it was badass. Me and mom rode the 4-wheelers up there. And I mean, it was just, wow, beautiful. And we're just like, okay, out of our league. And so I remember hearing it was a $10 million ranch. And I'm just like, again, okay. I remember taking pictures of it. I need to find those. It would be lovely to put my hand on those pictures because Lori, Charles, Tylee will all be in those. I think it's on an old hard drive that I need Jason to do it. I just need him to do it. Let's see. I hate how much storage it takes up with all this shit. I mean, I go for all in. There's Senator Mike Lee. And there's Glenn Beck. And this looks like one of Tim Ballard's kids right here. Look at them ice cream sundaes. First off, I'm jealous. Second, I just don't. This guy he's all up in the Book of Mormon evidence conferences. I've have pictures of him that, are just they're just in the stack, if you know what I mean. Like I didn't give a shit who he was. I didn't even know he was a senator for Utah until, about a year ago. And I was like, oh, okay. And as this has been progressing, and I'm able to kind of focus more on the dynamics of this thing, I'm like, oh shit, this is bad. And so I had shared with you guys whenever it was a post from, he goes by Go L, which is GO space EL at 1800. Oh my God. I hate not knowing things. I need to make a reference sheet or something so I can just flash it up on the screen. Go L. Substack is what it is. And let's see here. Open in a new tab, another tab. And so, I need to read this. Oh, I did. Okay. I didn't read it all the way. Okay. So where do I search? Right here. Okay. Thank y'all for hanging with me on a Sunday afternoon. Tim Ballard. Because there's, I shared this with you the day that Mormon Stories podcast had gone live, even when Tim was, that video came out of him saying, nothing you see is real, it's true, or whatever. And we're like, right? We agreed. I'm looking for the one. That's a rabbit hole right here. And I mean, this is where I found his brother Craig and not Russell Ballard's son. Craig. That threw me for a loop. I have a video that I was going to put out, a pre-record, and I mean, it threw me so bad. I was like, oh my God. Okay, well now it's really not him. So, anyways, weird. All right. I think it's this one, but I read this and it's from Goel, and ow, crap, it hurts. I'm having a pain in my neck. It's weird. Oh, shit. Sorry. The sordid story around Operation Underground Railroad founder and current Spear Fund founder Tim Ballard continues to take its turns. Dr. John Dehlin, and so Dehlin read this after I read this. We read the same post, what the hell? Anyways, so this guy, I've talked to him on the phone before. I've told him how I feel about what happened to Tylee and JJ, and I do believe it's ritual murder, and it just is what it is. There's a lot of cover up. There's a lot of things that go into play that shouldn't. I mean, murder's messy, and people aren't very proud of it. Some are. Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to feel better. Let me go find something. I do want to share what Rhonda shared with me. Let me grab it. No, wait, let me catch my breath. Maybe that's what I need. Gmail. Open up my Gmail. Got it, thanks. All right. I opened up the wrong thing, of course. I think I'm just having maybe an anxiety or something. I don't know. Weird. All right, let me just type her name in. No. Oh, wrong account. Damn it. Why is everything so damn difficult? Here. It's me. Come on. Yep. Okay. Oh, and I'm hot. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Yeah, I need to take. I need to just go maybe grab some water or something. Weird. I think I'm in the wrong damn window. Where y'all at? I was. Let me just copy the damn link then. Why is everything so difficult right now? I don't even know where it went. Oh, it's in whatever. That ain't it. Oh, I have that browser open too. Good God. All right, just give me the damn link. I think. Copy. I'm just not very tech savvy either, so shocker. Uh-oh. Where did I go? This is weird. Where y'all at? Where's all the comments? Oh, there they are. They're kind of blinking out. Oh my gosh. Anyways, all right. back, right? Okay, now I have the link and now I'm pasting it. Now I'm going to look it up and we're going to watch the very intro of this because it's hilarious. No. I just need to think. History. Everything's so different on my computer too, you know? That and I'm not feeling too great all of a sudden. So I'm kind of sidetracked big time. Okay. Here, let me push it. And so go subscribe to this. I did. This cracked me up. We're just going to watch the intro because this another woman's video. And it's called Julie Rowe, Another Failed Doomsday Prophet and Missing Teen. All right. Let me play it and I'm going to put it on full screen so you can see it.
Where did she go? Seriously, where?
There's the wrong mailbox.
Oh, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing with a headlamp on?
I'm preparing, Andrew.
For what?
Have you been reading the news? Things going badly in the Middle East?
Is that spam?
Name another time things have not been going well in the Middle East. No, it's unprecedented.
Right,
I
unprecedented.
don't know what's coming next, and I just want to be ready, okay?
All right.
How much toilet paper do you think you use in a day? Like 7 rolls? Got 2 jars of whatever this is. We've got 2 half-empty bags of quinoa, 1 thing of ramen, 4 boxes of penne, mashed potatoes.
And tuna for all of your tuna needs.
Mashed potatoes, Spam, tuna, crushed tomatoes. I think we're good in here for a month.
Chunk pineapple.
Chunk pineapple. We'd make
Ready
it
for
through,
what?
You know, it.
Doomsday never
The
happens.
big one. I've been reading some stuff online. I think you'd be
Get out of the
pretty
pantry.
interested in. Pretty interesting stuff.
Your hair does look amazing.
I found a very powerful blow dryer in the garage. It hasn't been used in years. Ready? Are you going to hiccup the whole time? Yes. Again. It happened again.
Oh, Lord. Again. Again.
Fringy, loony, Mormon adjacent doomsday predictions led to the disappearance of a teenager.
A Gilbert mother coming to grips with the fact her belief that the world was ending last weekend was wrong. That's according to recorded court proceedings in Alaska, where her doomsday plot came to an end.
Get into even more Mormon mayhem.
Y'all, she's really, I like her. I do. So Rhonda, thank you for sending me her link. And this is Crooked Timber is the name of her channel. She says she's done other videos before and follows the Kate. Oh my gosh, I'm sitting on my leg too. I'm way up here. Look like I'm hitting the roof of the cab of the whatever. Let me paste this in here. And anyway, so go finish watching that because it's like 15 minutes long and I haven't even got to finish it yet. But trying to think. I know I just went all kinds of places because I don't know. It just felt really weird, but I'm super in tune with my body too. So anything, and I'm just like high alert, right? That's a hypervigilance crap. That sucks. So I think basically today, or what I learned over the weekend was that Judge Boyce denied Chad no change of venue, so it's going to be in Ada County. Then with the whole culpability thing, relative culpability, whatever the hell, for the death penalty, Judge Boyce shot that down too. So you'd have to get you a law professional to help you, you know, if you need that kind of whatever. Okay. let's see. I'm just looking. Hold on. But okay, yeah, on that Tim Ballard, that Substack right there that I was just sharing with you, or just sharing, I'm sharing with you right now. I think where I have too many tabs open. Straight. Okay, I am. And well, anyways, it turns out that it was about Tim Ballard, confirmed, Tim Ballard excommunicated. This was by Go L, September 29th, 2023. He's covering the Hamblin case, the horrible freaking ABUSE. Okay. SA. Horrible. A Mormon therapist using peyote and stuff. And there's so many people connected to this that are high up, general authorities and stuff, allegedly. It's interesting. And so I found it really interesting when I was already following Go L and for all the work he's doing. To get justice for the Hamblin daughters, who, yeah, their father even admitted to some of it. But anyways, and it includes David Levitt, allegedly. All these people, everything's allegedly. It's for entertainment purposes only. Right? But David Levitt, we have Roselle Anderson Stevenson. She's now Stevenson, but she was married to David Hamblin for a long time. And David Hamblin's dad was also, well, no, he wasn't a therapist, but he was a researcher kind of dude. But the tactics, when you put them in the context of these people, they're up to no good, because you have people like Jody Hildebrandt, who's a Mormon therapist and doing backward shit. You have people like Tom Harrison, who's Mormon and doing backward shit, therapist, church. Here you go. Here you go. Here, go to this one. Go to this one. We're just going to send you to a bunch of throw it off people that are therapists. And so you have two major supports. I don't know the terminology, but you're trusting the church with your faith, your spiritual being and more. And then, and your financial, you're investing in that church, and then that church refers you to a Mormon therapist who is backwards, upside down, not right in their thinking. They think pain is good and hurt and anger are like, yay, it's weird and it's scary. Because David Hamblin's the same way. His dad was the same way, Robert Hamblin. And he was like a researcher, and even it was behavioral training. And behavioral training. And so they would give they got government funding. I'm not really good at telling this stuff, but they got government funding for whatever project he was working on. And I mean, Goel has the news clippings and stuff like that. And he lays it out there. It's really intricate, I mean, you have to read all these posts and I mean, it's as complex can be, but I love how he does it, because he even does it to where he's trying to prove not the satanic element, but the abuse element, right? So he's with what they're saying and what the girls have said in their victim reports in the 90s. This was in the 90s, okay? And David Hamblin has never been, none of them have been held accountable. But anyway, so let me relax. I've been really winded today. So what Goel is trying to do is corroborate the girl's statements with, we were living here in this neighborhood, we would walk there to so-and-so's house, they would do this, da 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 da. Gordon Bowen, nasty, trashy. But he's Gordon Bowen. There's a couple, it's so interesting because this is all connected, in my opinion. This just confirms everything that my soul, my gut, my intuition has been screaming at me for 4 years. it goes up. It goes high. It's bigger than Chad and Lori. It's not just them. It's higher. There's somebody calling the shots. There's somebody ordering the hits, so to speak, allegedly. And I'm not trying to get I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm trying to let the stories of the victims really be known. I mean, they deserve that much, I believe. And I'm not telling it. I'm just asking questions. I'm digging is what I'm doing. I mean, I've been digging into Visions of Glory and all these people around Chad and Lori this whole time. I've said the same thing over and over again. Anybody who's been here knows that. I mean, I circled the wagons every time. And it's like I can't let up off that till it's done. I don't know how to say that. But and then just recently with Tim Ballard, well, actually with Jody Hildebrandt, when all that stuff came out with her and Ruby Frankie about the abuse with R and E, and how R ran to the neighbor's house, and that poor man, he buckled just explaining how R looked, but was trying to hold it together, and duct tape on that baby, on that young man. But that baby, somebody's baby, and it's not Ruby's damn baby. She don't need that baby no more. Damn. They're twisted. So they're backwards, and something's seriously wrong because it's not just Ruby. It's not just Jody. It's not isolated. And that's something that I really want people to really understand. It's not just Tylee. It's not just JJ. Now it's Tylee, JJ for sure. And then you have Melanie Pulowski, who was trying to retrieve 2 of her children who were deemed dark. Okay. Then you have, and Alex, I'm sorry. Alex was trying to retrieve 2. And then you have Ruby Frankie and 2 of her children that were, I'm going to say it, dark. Who do we not know? There's Jesse Hildebrandt, who, I mean, that is crazy. Then you have Adam Steed, a little bit different circumstances, but it patterns and matches up with, it corroborates what Kevin Frankie's going through, or what it appears to be, just kind of shoving the husband out and infiltrating and turning them out. I don't know. And it's going after the kids. It's like a target or something. It's weird, and it's disturbing on many levels. And I wonder, is the church, and I'm just going to pose this question. You can knock it down. I'm going to ask it. I don't want to just, I'm sure I already have many different ways, but I mean, could the church or people in the church, I mean, I don't know them. They don't know me. I don't know these people. I don't know their intentions. I really don't know. All I can do is ask. But is there somebody higher up? Was it Elder Ballard? What's the end game here? Okay, Chad and Lori. I mean, what would they have gained off of starting a Church of the Firstborn, Invisible Church of the Firstborn? Riddle me that. And not only that, but in Chad's hometown, right there, like a couple miles from his house, less than a couple miles. Okay. And was that Invisible Church where the pings went off, where Alex's phone pinged the night or the day that Tylee was murdered, or day before, in that field? Was that the Invisible Church that David looked at? Is that the property? I want to know. And these are things that did not get answered for me in Lori's trial. And not much of anything got answered. I mean, they brought a lot of the FOIA docs alive, on record, audibly. But it's stuff I've already read and gone through and analyzed long before, many times. But I'm not saying nothing, I mean, it did what it was intended to do, which was, what the hell is all these pains and shit? Are they remote viewing my ass? I'm just asking. Freaking freaks me out. Ever since I read that, I'm like, oh my God, they are crazy. Y'all remember that? I got to send you that. I got to send that to you, Suze. Glenn Beck, the Blaze or whatever, whenever he put out that article on Janet Russin and they talked about the remote viewing shit. And I was like, Mm-mm. Anyways. Hey, Norma, come on in. Air quotes, right? Reach laugh out loud. Invisible Church of the Firstborn. It is invisible though. It's just a title. That's just it. But I mean, I know this. I'm sitting there watching David Warwick. I'm sitting in the pew, the bench, whatever the hell. And I mean, I wanted to come out of my seat, my skin. I just wanted to slap the shit out of him. But there's somebody, I don't know who it is, but it's above Chad and Lori. And I'm not trying to take anything off of them. This is them. But don't we want to find out source, the root of the problem? If we don't, it's just going to continue. That's where I'm like, okay, well, I made it this far. I'm done. No, I mean, you go all the way or you go home. I mean, I might as well quit. I hope not. I ain't had the flu since I was 5. I hope not. Yeah. Silas was sick yesterday. He had flush, face, and his stomach hurt. Constipation. Oh, I haven't done that yet either. I know. Bracelets, I have them. I have them. Haven't done that though. I mean, all I got to do is upload it. The pictures are done. Like I took pictures of the bracelets and then I just have to upload them to PayPal. And it's just everything is, I don't visit PayPal enough or Venmo enough or, to just know it like the back of my hand. So I'm like, wait, what? It's like I have to learn things all over again. Every app, every platform, it's all different. Oh, Gene, I'm glad you're better though. I'm glad. Oh, I have a backache. I am a backache. Especially carrying all this extra weight around. It is not fun. Holy crap. Anyway, so yes, I was watching. I'm gonna skip around again because I'm just flighty right now, big time. I'm so sorry about that. It really does suck. ADHD it sucks. It's a learning disorder, or disability, whatever the hell. And I'm kind of having some like pressure change. I don't know what it is. It's like kind of like whenever I say the pressure drops or whatever, because like whenever a hurricane's coming in, the barometric pressure goes down and I'm just like, everything feels so heavy. I'm super sensitive to that. I don't know. Everybody might be, I don't know. But okay. Think. We're going to close this tab. Oh, no, we're going to open it. Now we're going to close it. Okay. So yeah, there's these dudes. And this is from Twitter or X or whatever. This dude says, I love how Mike Lee and Sean Reyes always have their priorities straight and work actively to protect their crooked buddies. Right. Utah, you need to smarten up. And I learn a lot from just reading comments of other people because it is a theocracy. I'm going to agree with Jezebel right here. And there was nothing really positive. Oh, wow. No. Let's see what this is.
Of Operation Underground Railroad founder Tim Ballard now says that he feels duped and betrayed by his friend.
News specialist Lindsay Ahrens has the latest developments. Lindsay?
Conservative radio host Glenn Beck has long backed OUR and Ballard. He took to his show Wednesday, saying his media company has interviewed 5 women who claim to be victims of sexual misconduct by Ballard. Beck says his media company was set to publish an investigative piece before the women's attorney shut it down.
I have read.
Real quick interjection, because this just came to me. The exploitation continues. Bam. I mean, depends on how you look at it. But Glenn Beck talked to all 5 of the the female victims or alleged victims that came forward so far. And so here he is using his media company to break this empathetic story so he can still paint himself to be the good guy. And people support him because they think he's a good guy. And he may be. I don't know. I don't take a liking to him.
The quotes and listen to the tape of the interviews.
Because, listen,
this development
Now
it's all self-serving. Know that.
says he feels duped and betrayed by his friend.
News specialist Lindsay Ahrens has the latest developments. Lindsay?
Conservative radio host Glenn Beck has long backed OUR and Ballard. He took to his show Wednesday, saying his media company has interviewed 5 women who claim to be victims of sexual misconduct by Ballard. Beck says his media company was set to publish an investigative piece before the women's attorney shut it down.
I have read the quotes and listened to the tape of the interviews. And I will tell you, I believe one side, but I could be wrong.
KSL has confirmed that more than 5 women are working with an attorney to report the sexual misconduct allegations, which include taking showers or sharing a bed with Ballard under the guise of playing his wife for undercover missions. We do not know if those women are the same women Beck spoke with. Now, Beck did not specifically say which side he believed, but he also called the misconduct allegations, quote, ugly. Beck also says he still considers Ballard a friend, but a friend who is, quote, gravely misguided and needs to change his ways. Ballard has explained the couple's ruse as a tool to fool child sex traffickers. Back to you.
Well, that was a ball buster, right? Rocket science right there. Well, duh. Yeah, that's exactly what the hell he was doing. Dum-dum. All I'm saying is you don't have this many big power players, priesthood holders, gun-toting, millionaires and billionaires, all of them, Ken Krogh, this Glenn Beck, it's like Tim Ballard was a little fish, but I think he used his pull, of course, with President Ballard, if they're not related. For being Mormon, I would love to see that tree, both of them. And then I like to see them join, like I know they do. That's just my gut feeling. I'd fall down if they're not. I would apologize. But Sean Reyes, he's got a lot of, he knew Trump. He knew, there's a guy, that's what I was doing. Okay, don't let me stop. Just tell me to go to Mormon discussions. Don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Right? Mormon discussions with Lynn Packer. I have the timestamps written down, so I don't remember the name of it though. Maybe the last one. Not Mormon stories, Mormon discussions. Mormonism Live. Let me do Mormonism Live. My bad. So many damn Mormonisms and Mormonism Live. It didn't change. Let's see here. It was October 11th. I know that. Nope. Oh, okay. It's like I should just go in my YouTube history because that's where it's at. That's where I watched it. And it's right here. Yes. It's the Breaking Bad one. Okay. So let me switch you to here. And we're just going to go over timestamp number at 1 minute. I'm sorry, 1 hour and 11 minutes. 111. Or around here.
From the 12 apostles was there, but the president of the church attended the meeting. And he's the one that gave me detail about the meeting. The way he described it.
Sorry.
Tim Ballard, together with these other 3 gentlemen.
Tentatively.
Of Sound of Freedom. And so they have this meeting, and my source, who you'll see in a second, was with them, took this photo, went into the meeting, says that Tim Ballard sat next to Russell Ballard. They discovered, and I forgot to mention, Eduardo Verástegui and Patrick Slim are very active Catholics, some would say from the right wing of the Catholic Church, extreme anti-abortion, as is the LDS Church. And the LDS Church has made no bones about working with Catholics to combat abortion. And so certainly that would have been one of the topics that was discussed during this meeting. But the other topic was, what about a movie that would come out showing Tim Ballard as a hero, a Mormon hero, a Mormon guided by God, rescuing these poor kids, that would also help spread the gospel?
And I call bullshit. I call bullshit right here. Why? Not on Lynn, not on the church, on the elders. 12 apostles showed up to this other meeting that just did not catch my attention before. I'm like, wait, so this is a pattern. I mean, 2019, the whiteboard meeting. Okay. I learned all about it. 2017, here's this whole other meeting. All 12 apostles showed up. Nelson did not show up. He was like, yeah, no, I'll pass. And they're all in on this movie that Tim Ballard just started, or basically fooled the world, right? That's what it's about. Exploitation. It's about tricking us out. Okay. It's about taking advantage of our emotions, our kindness, our love, our goodness, turning it against God or whatever, against humanity, period. And it works, really. I mean, depends on how you look at it, you know. That's very vague and broad, but you know, I mean, it's kind of got that little hook in there. And I see the church doing the same thing. Churches where they're abusing children, women, men, Charles, you know, I mean, they're tricking us out and turning us away from, they even turned Jesus out. They turned the Bible out. They have infiltrated, in my opinion. And I don't think the whole world is bad. You know, I don't think that at all. We're just dealing with some really super egos. The power team. It just turns out to be that, you know. But it goes with the rest of the craziness of Tylee and JJ's story, the zombies and dark light. I mean, and they flaunt it. There's a word that, it's a compound word, but Ken Krogh says it, Glenn Beck says it, and so far, you know, Tim Ballard says it, and it's called storytellers. That's what they say. Y'all know how I catch on to those little words that come up and, you know, over and over again. So if you hear anybody else saying storyteller, just kind of make note of it, and, you know, we'll timestamp them together and put them together, maybe in the Facebook group or whatever. And because it's interesting. It's about storytelling. Oh, and I watched Hugh Vale for the first time also over the weekend. And I never knew what he sounded like or, you know, kind of looked like from profile. It's a 3-and-something hour video of him, and I don't remember her name right offhand, but I can find it while I let y'all listen to this, right? Y'all done forgot, I'm sure.
As is the LDS Church. And the LDS Church has made no bones about working with Catholics to combat abortion. And so certainly that would have been one of the topics that was discussed during this meeting. But the other topic was, what about a movie that would come out showing Tim Ballard as a hero, a Mormon hero, a Mormon guided by God, rescuing these poor kids, that would also help spread the gospel? Whoops, you're muted. Email was a dinner meeting.
I just want to give you a chance to say that, Lynn, because usually it's Bill. No, I just want to focus on this January 12th, 2022. No, what year was it? Can we go back one?
It was 2017. Remember, a day after they dissolved Liberty 89.
Right.
that Russell Ballard's son-in-law is a director with.
Okay, we'll get to that. But on this day, January 12th, 2017, Tim Ballard, together with these other three gentlemen, including Sean Reyes, had a personal face-to-face meeting with church leadership.
With the source that you see on the next page. Why don't you go ahead to the next page just so you see the source. The source is Toxic Munoz, who was an executive, not secretary, but an executive with Sean Reyes. And he was invited to the meeting and attended the meeting. And he's the one that gave me detail about the meeting. The way he described it was the entire quorum it was a dinner meeting. They were served a meal. And he said the entire quorum of 12 apostles was there, but the president of the church was not. And he had offered I'm sorry, I can't make it to this meeting. That is what he recalled. And it's also interesting how I approached the church on this. Is that obviously I'm going to ask the church to confirm or deny that this meeting took place. But the interesting thing is that my email too, and I did receive a reply that we're looking at it, not a reply to my request. I requested an interview. I said in the email that I'm going to report that there was this secret meeting on this date. I'm going to report that. And I sent that email about 3 hours before they sent the denunciation email device. They all happened, bam, 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 like that. And I'm sure it was disconcerting to the church to hear that somebody also was going to report at this time that Tim Ballard met with the entire quorum of 12 apostles. They would have had some awareness of the relationship between Tim Ballard and Russell Ballard, and about this movie that is coming out that turns out to be mostly fiction and mostly used to glorify Tim Ballard. So,
Lynn.
So, I mean, right there, I was like, there's the motive. That's why Tim got excommunicated. Lynn pushed it. Lynn asked, he was like, I'm about to report on this church. I'm about to report on this 2017 secret meeting here that he says toxic or whatever. I can't see past that sign right there, that picture, just like you, but he says toxic or whatever this guy's name is here. This informant, okay, he was at this other meeting, okay, this 2017 meeting, just as Liberty 89 dissolved. And it's got something to do with funneling, and Lynn does say it in a creative way towards the end. I mean, we're not going to watch all this, but just certain points or whatever. It just kind of, it's like he tells the story in this video, but sprinkles, it's just kind of laced in there. He tells it in his good fashion. I love his storytelling. I don't like these storytellers. But it caught me earlier. I was like, oh, okay, there it is, because he's got to maintain integrity. He can't just be like blah blah blah. And I mean, you have to do things the right way and as it should be, right? You don't want information the wrong way. I've never wanted it in this case, but just I'm gonna back it up just a little.
At this time, that Tim Ballard met with the entire quorum of 12 apostles, and they would have had some awareness
12 dudes
of the relationship between Tim Ballard and Russell Ballard, and about this movie that is coming out that turns out to be mostly fiction and mostly used to glorify Tim Ballard.
Rasbin and Gay.
Lynn, we have a surprise for you. This is a very important meeting. This is why I'm wanting to spend a little bit of time on it.
Mm-hmm.
You have direct information from an individual who is high up in OUR, who was present at the meeting, reporting to you that this is what happened.
That's what he says.
Our surprise for you tonight, Lynn, is that we have obtained an actual photograph from inside the room of that meeting where Tim Ballard is presenting about this movie idea for the Sound of Freedom to all the apostles. Do we have that, Maven?
She has a hard time
to
finding
the
it.
computer.
After the please make more.
Elder, what was that?
One of those investments, but out one of those investments, but until I get more proof about it, I'm not going to talk.
I need to
about
go to
it.
120.
The reason
Let's go to 119.
not answering any questions. He's not
Let's
clarifying.
go this way.
Get a email back
Okay, here. Let me back it up just a little bit.
was involved. I didn't send him the photo. Or whatever it is. It's got a lot of information in it. They wanted to get feedback from the church. And about 2 or 3 weeks prior to this date that I'm talking about, they had made an inquiry and said, we would like an interview, we would like a comment, and we would like a statement about the church's involvement with OUR. This is 2 or 3 weeks before. And so I didn't know that. I would assume they would do it. It's what journalists do. It's what I do. So I would assume they do it, but I wasn't paying any attention to it. I'm working on my story. So on that day, I'm ready. I know that I'm about to do the story. So I send the email to Church PR and say, I would like to do an interview. And part of my story has to do with this meeting that took place in 2017 with the 12 apostles. I think I mentioned that the Sound of Freedom was involved. I didn't send him the photo. Then I get a email back from Doug that says that asks some questions to clarify it. He's not answering any questions. He's not confirming or denying. He just asks some questions, and I email him back. And then about 2 hours after that, I get a call from Tim and Anna saying that they had received this bombshell statement, and they knew it was a bombshell. And from time to time, because they're not LDS and they don't live
in the culture,
in this culture, they will call and just, I think they basically wanted confirmation of what they understood. This was a very, very unusual statement that they were given.
Say it for everyone in the back.
Some people call it a press release. It isn't. It was a statement, but it amounts to a press release, and it amounted to that once they published it. After that, I have heard nothing from the church. They never, after asking that the questions be clarified, I haven't heard anything. And I went ahead and published, and still have not heard anything.
And so I'm a layman, right? And in a journalist world, I assume that you have to, if people don't refute something or whatever, then it's the truth, kind of. I mean, it's a way of telling or getting the truth out. Like having both Ballard'S, Tim and Russell, Elder and Russell Ballard or whatever, both deny that they had any kind of friendship or relationship, ties, or never used them for money or whatever he says. It's so stupid. They both deny it. So in a way, it's like they telling each other, and so that's kind of what's happening here. You have to kind of read the tea leaves. And maybe I'm late. I don't know.
You'd think it would be an easy enough thing to deny if it weren't true.
Well, sure. And it would be easy to prove because having had an uncle who was a general authority and having visited him many times over the years, you don't walk in off the
that means go here
meeting because description of the room, and they were eating during the meeting because
he just sprinkles it throughout.
Biblioteca. It has fooled many people, not me, but it's fooled many, many people. That's a really good job.
Well, and it actually hasn't. It didn't fool me that could have been the meeting because the person who Munoz who shot it described the room that he was in, and this is not the description of the room. And they were eating during the meeting, and I don't even see any snacks on the table there.
I don't even see any damn snacks.
It's actually a past Sunday if you do your research on this.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding, everybody. This is
All right, come
something
on.
that is not real journey. Everything else after this point will.
Then back, just finishing up with the next slide
Next installment.
that I was on. Well, the one before that. Okay.
I'll make a
Just
video.
one more statement about the one who shot the shot is that you see him in Mexico City, and he went on a jump, a so-called operation with Tim Ballard in Mexico City. They took some Mexican law enforcement with them on the jump.
That guy.
And what I did not put in the video, because I didn't want to take the time to do it, is that what they did is they went into a bar. They were served drinks.
Three Mormons going to a bar. Finish that. Kidding.
Then the way it works, then you ask to go to a room where the potential hookers are brought.
Invisible.
They went into that room. They can't say we want somebody underage, so they have to sort of hint at it. And so he said they used the term. They brought in a woman, and they said, "Well, we need something fresher," and I guess that's code for younger. And they couldn't produce anybody, and so it was a bust. And he said, and I said, "Well, did Tim Ballard drink Coke?" Because Ballard on one of the operations said, "I don't drink." But I have to make it look like I have been drinking, so I splashed beer on me, and it looks like it smells like I've been drinking. And Munoz said no, he was drinking, and I never heard that brought up by an eyewitness to his drinking
about her.
But then you read the the civil complaint about his drinking tequila and even getting drunk.
Right. Yeah. And it's not just like Lamisa, it's not just I said scary, and that's why I wanted to kind of clarify that. But it's scary, but then you also don't want to just go and slander somebody. Like it can ruin somebody's whole life, and I mean that comes into play here. And I mean there's a lot I've done this for like years now, and I'm just like I study these people. I watch them, and I'm just like, what are they doing? Why are they doing what they're doing? And why is everything so hidden? Like where's all their stuff? Where's all their bullshit? Okay, it's like they're not normal people. I don't know what it is. Are they robots? I'm joking, but you know what I mean. Like I know they're regular people, just like me, you, kind of, except they don't have to worry about money and stuff. And I don't know if they're self-made millionaires. How so many found each other is beyond me. Birds of a feather, like-minded people though. But it's just good to corroborate the stories and to have more than a couple. Once I have, and I mean, I'm not a journalist, but it's like once I see something twice and I just say something twice and I'm like, that's kind of curious, And then if I see the same phrase or word or whatever come up, then I'm like, there's something going on, so I just kind of keep track of it a little bit. But again, that's not reporting. I'm just saying as far as like information and stuff, but let me continue.
And so it could be even much worse than what I was told.
Okay.
And just FYI, Lynn, about 2 weeks ago, RFM interviewed a OUR informant as well, and he also validated that at the strip clubs that he was at in these operations, that they were also drinking liquor or alcohol of some kind, that it was not just soda pop or some other beverage.
And the complaint said one time that he was, and again, this is just an allegation, that he was smashed and missed one of his appointments. I have a video that I haven't used yet that is, I think, significant, but I haven't had the opportunity to use it, where Angel Studios puts together a panel of, I think, 6.
Okay, here we go. Brad Brower.
Right, Brad Brower.
Elder Ballard's son-in-law.
Okay.
He speaks for him. And there's been...
Oh, let me back up a little bit. I did do some research on Mike Tomlin, I think that's his name, the one that's on this book right here that forwarded Slave Stealer's book. This is my hypothesis, my whatever. I think that they are actually the slave stealers. There it is. But you heard it here first. I really think that what they're projecting to do, what they're claiming to do, what they're exploiting and ripping good people off, pulling at your emotions and your heartstrings and your pocketbooks. Don't forget your pocketbooks, because you got to pay to go to church. You got to pay to attend the temple. You got to pay to stay in the club. You've got to, and I mean, with the whole Tim Ballard thing, it's kind of the same as the church. If you look at it like the entity, not the people inside the church, but the people, the powerhouse, the corporation, the incorporation, I mean, they're almost $1 trillion church. Okay. That's a little too much. That's unregulated. Gotta have breaks. If not, you go unchecked, you have your ego it just grows and grows and grows. It's never enough. And then you see what we see now, and what kind of has always been there, not just in the Mormon church. I'm talking about all the churches. Boy Scouts of America, all these organizations where they prey on children. They attract children and they prey on children. And so there you go. And so wherever the kids are at, that's where the crazies and, the creeps are going to be. And I just wonder, I really do. And I spend a lot of time thinking about this. So just please know that it's not me just being angry. And I mean, I really do think this through. And I mean, it just doesn't feel right at all. From what I've studied, what I've read, what I have learned is that it's an abusive institution. And people in that institution are just human beings, period. We're nothing. They don't apologize. They're too good for that. It's above their pay grade. It's way too high for us. We're not exalted. And they are. And that's called a God complex. and it's just bad. And it's just too big for its britches. And it can really send our economy into a frenzy if they were to, let's say, not report their income or whatever for 28 years, hide, I don't remember how much, 125 billion or something, chump change from our government because they want to bleed the beast. I mean, I'm sure it's some vendetta, maybe because people didn't accept Joseph Smith back in the day. I don't really know what there. It's just kind of the hurt people thing. For me, like, that's kind of how I view it. And it's like they've gone unchecked for so long and have been trying to be acknowledged. I understand that feeling. I know what it's like to want to be acknowledged, as they probably want to be acknowledged. So I'm just looking at it as the church that they project themselves to be. They are the one way, the only way. They hold the only keys. I read that in the priesthood thing last night. Jesus Christ has the keys, and then the apostles and such have the keys. Priesthood authority or whatever over the whole world. Okay. So, I mean, I'm just saying this is that's their whole foundation or whatever. And it's anyways, but so let's just say that they would have never reported that money and not created those 13 shell accounts. Shell. That means they're just fake, right? They're so fraudulent, not Christ-like behavior, not even nice, not just being a decent human being and having a moral compass. But so I find it very suspicious and wrong. It's wrong. And so I can't sit there and look at a hypocrite because they sin differently than I do or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, how dare you look down on everybody, all of us, whenever you are doing some egregious shit. Okay. I'm talking protecting abusers. It's horrible. It's what do you call it? Endemic, I think. Epidemic. I don't really know right now, but I mean, it's bad. And it's not just this church. It is all it's rampant right now. And it's like they're kind of into this. Hear me out. They're into creating these sexual psychopaths. It's kind of what I see in Tim, allegedly, in my opinion. A conspiracy. I see this in Chad somewhat, Lori, Jody, Ruby. You kind of see these tendencies, right? They don't have any empathy. They're just like, well, what did I do wrong? They don't think that what they're doing is wrong. And that's a whole nother problem. And I mean, I've been saying, what about the rest of them for 4 flipping years now? What about the rest of them? And I'm referring to this cult or whatever people dubbed it as. I didn't say it was a cult, I'm like, okay, what's a cult? And everybody it's different. Okay. And so people get touchy. It's a label. And so these labels, I think, are being used in society to pit us against each other, just like a narcissistic parent does with their children, right? They have the golden child, they have the scapegoat. I'm not a psychiatrist nor I don't have any licenses. I don't live in Utah. Joke. Anyways. But I mean, it's so gross. And so people are going unchecked for so long. And here we are. It's not getting better. It's getting worse, but at least we're like we have to get the narcissist to acknowledge that there's been abuse. And we have to get them to understand that. And if we don't, and then we cannot move forward. We cannot heal. We cannot fix this because they don't acknowledge there's a problem. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's like very one-sided. And we all know there's a problem. There's lots of problems. And we have all the answers. All of us. Teamwork makes the dream work. Right? But here we are. They don't want to be helped. They don't think that they need help. And it's just how I see it. I hope, am I making sense? Like, can you see it that way? Do I need to find another kind of way to explain that maybe? Do not take pain meds. Oh, hey, just kidding. Remember, Sean Reyes, right? And so the cry of what was the movie name he came up with? I was like, yeah, what a douche. What a dude. Where did I put that? I have it ready over here. Just I gotta find it. Okay. So check this out. Okay. So I do a lot of ADD, right? This is Tim's mom and dad. This right here is Dennis Ballard. Kind of looks like a Ballard. And this is, oh hell, Melanie with an E. Yeah. Anyways. Oh, I didn't finish. So, I mean, I've been working on this kind of stuff too. I just never finish it because there's always something new coming out. Always. Always, always, always. Do y'all notice how Tim changes too a lot?
I've sat on maybe over a dozen nonprofit boards during my career. And I know that there's a lot of corruption and there's a lot of fraud. There's a lot of ego in the nonprofit world. I saw none of that. And I really looked hard at Operation Underground Railroad. No way can you have the success that they have had. No way can you raise money like they have. No way can you have the media attention unless they're doing something wrong. I looked long and hard and I could find nothing wrong. I've sat on maybe...
Oh, Mama Jesus, right? Yeah, there's so many things wrong in my opinion there.
To say Sean Reyes, quote, apparently believes Tim Ballard, the founder of OUR, was anointed as the chosen one. And for that reason, he has treated Ballard as if he's above the law. When Tim Ballard was accused of sex abuse against fellow members of his nonprofit, the lawsuit says Sean Reyes' staff was tasked with helping Ballard try to discredit the women. It says Sean Reyes helped Ballard meet high-ranking members of the LDS Church. It says he may be in violation of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. And it says another member of OUR joined Sean Reyes in bullying and intimidating a woman who says she had proof that OUR was lying about rescuing children from human trafficking. In particular, a girl her nonprofit was helping and had nothing to do with OUR. And for some of these reasons, the suit claims the Elizabeth Smart Foundation refused to partner with OUR. They thought the nonprofit was dishonest, but that's not what Reyes told donors at fundraising events.
I've sat on maybe over a dozen nonprofit boards during my career, and I know that there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of fraud, there's a lot of ego in the nonprofit world. I saw none of that, and I really looked hard at Operation Underground Railroad.
That clip is from a fundraiser at Davis High School in 2015 and is now part of evidence. And there's plenty more in this suit. It says Sean Reyes helped write a sequel to the feature film Sound of Freedom, in which he portrays himself as a handsome MMA fighter and a future governor who will cover for Tim Ballard before moving on to the White House. It says he meets with people in downtown Salt Lake City on a leather chair, apparently given to him by Kanye West, spending more time propping up his friend Tim Ballard than carrying out the duties of his elected office.
I know. Oh, it's going to start over. Hold on. I got to go.
The lawsuit starts with this.
Okay, now I'm going to show you what I watched last night for the first time. And I've been watching some stuff on Tony Robbins because I just don't have him pinned down. He's not been on my radar. I know he's in the crowd. Another one, and it's not been good. I'm just saying. I don't seek out bad stuff. It's just I Google stuff or I search it in my YouTube, on my app, on my TV or whatever, and this is what comes up. So, I mean, it is what it is. But this right here, you've got to go watch it.
Questions for me because I know that.
Oh, I mean, that's where it's Chris Hansen.
Trolls and people coming into your ear, and this is very disturbing that you don't believe.
I think here's what's disturbing: somebody who makes false allegations to take attention away from real victims. And I've spent an entire career helping real victims. So,
boom, biatch. So, okay, I was reading the comments because that's where it's at, right? And it's hard to do from your TV, but I did see Damian Moore commented in here because this is on that Coco Birman or whatever that Lynn Packer had reported on. Holy shit. I mean, it's another one, another rogue ass bitch. I'm sorry I said it. And I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt, I don't mean to do that to your ears, but where's it at? I'm just trying to, show you guys. It'll say Damian Moore, and he says we broke it. Oh, look, there's S.L. Connolly. Hey, girl. Right there. Okay. So she already saw it. Where's that? There weren't this many comments on my TV. Okay. Anyways, you can go look for yourself, unless I see it on the way back up. But he was like, yeah, me and Lynn broke the story and we basically handed it. These guys don't have time to do all that stuff. So they have researchers and journalists and stuff under them, I'm assuming. But it's really interesting. Oh, let me pass that up.
Victims a voice. Victims rear, giving victims a voice. Victims of all kinds of crimes. And so when we have someone who surfaces, who turns out to be a false victim,
here's this link.
I think it's important that we expose them as well. And such is the case, apparently, as far as we can tell, and according to law enforcement, with a woman named Coco Birman. And this is a very important true crime stories collaboration between Have a Seat with Chris Hansen and Wes Most.
It is.
We collaborate frequently here. Coco Birman put herself out there as a human rights advocate. Her story is wild, allegedly being trafficked by her own mother in Germany. She makes it to this country, and she comes to me highly vetted and highly recommended. I met with her. I actually did an interview that you'll see down the road. She was going to be part of a major television production. A lot of people were interested in hearing her story. It was compelling. She gave a TED Talk. She was lined up to work with Elizabeth Smart in her organization.
Look, that's the
Highly
lady right
regarded.
there. I'm sorry, I got
That
excited.
organization does a lot of things for a lot of people.
That way we don't.
But it turns
I wanna show
out
you guys.
that
Oh.
serious questions.
Ah, shoot. Okay, so this is Mike Lee right here. And you know the lady that filed the lawsuit against Sean Reyes? She's
He
right
was
here.
lined up
Whitehead
to
is her last
work
name.
with Elizabeth.
Right here, to the left, all the way to the left. And this is Coco Birman, and this is some other chick, alleged victims, I guess. I don't remember. I think she's a fraud too, but there's Mike Lee. And so when you're okay, so I posted this link in the chat. When you finish watching it or towards the end, you'll see where I mean, they basically, she scams, she lies and says that she has stage 3 cancer. This is Coco Birman, okay? And this friend of hers, not this one, another friend started a GoFundMe page for her, and she milked it. She even signed into it, logged into it or whatever a couple times. She would poor mouth everybody and say she had to go to some gala or something. And I can only imagine it's the one that, you know, Tim Ballard, Sean Reyes, Glenn Beck wearing, and I mean, Lynn Pecker has this picture, and it's David Barton, okay, that oh my god, that evangelistic, what, I don't know how to say it, evangelist guy who's on the Southern Poverty Law Center website right now. Currently there's a big write-up about him, and so they're all at this gala, okay, where this is ball. And I mean, I'm straight up to the point, and y'all know, I already know what I'm gonna say. I think of Tylee and JJ and what the hell they went through and how we don't know, and everything's so shrouded in secrecy and smoke and mirrors and just evasive. There's not, here we have all these pings, but we don't have that. Oh, here is this discovery, you know, 5,000 whatever. I don't know if it was megabytes or, you know what I mean? I don't know if it was pages, but it was from the FBI. And so, you know, the prosecution turned that in too late, just missed the deadline by like minutes. And Judge Boyce is like, all right, I'm going to sanction you and I'm going to take death penalty off the table. Don't do it again. What the hell? That is weird. That's that same logic that I'm seeing over and over and over again in all these people when the church was on 60 Minutes Australia, and I think his name was Waddell, whatever, Elder Waddell, I don't know his name. And the what do you call her, the anchor or whatever, asked him about the church's spendings and stuff like that, and he just didn't even answer her question. He answers a question, but it's nothing to do with that. And so it's like, hi, it's like you're asking a specific question, but they answer you something off. It's totally opposite. And it throws you off. And I mean, it's happened to me before, you know, it bothers me. It bothers me because this logic is so backwards. It really is. And it's scary.
Smart in her organization.
I'm gonna
Highly
scoot down to here,
regarded.
though.
That organization does a lot of things for a lot of people. But it turns out that serious questions are now being raised about Coco Birman's story. The accusation is that she made much of it up. And now she's been criminally prosecuted for part of this scheme. Take a look.
Knew it having cancer to solicit donations. After receiving a tip earlier this month, South Jordan police began investigating 28-year-old Coco Birman. Birman has been in the news previously for sharing her story of surviving trafficking. The complaint who tipped police off.
All right, let me skip.
Human trafficking. Two words that, when put together, signify some of the very worst in human behavior,
All right.
invoking mental images of hurt, assault,
Let's see.
enslavement, and abuse.
Okay, I'm
Human
gonna go right
trafficking
here.
remains.
Right here.
She attended college in Salt Lake City from 2018 to 2021, where she earned an associate's degree in marketing. And she found love. Coco also found her purpose. she would become a bastion of hope, a beacon of promise, and an icon for not just enduring, but thriving against any obstacle life could throw her way.
Yeah, I bet.
In her bio, she described herself as an author, activist, and health promoter. To many, it was much more simple. She was a hero. Soon,
I need a
Berthman would
hero.
embark on a flurry of speaking engagements, interviews, book deals, and public appearances. She would no longer suffer in silence. Rather, she would heal loudly and boldly encourage others to do the same. She founded the Coco Birman Scholarship Fund and served as the board president. As one write-up put it, Coco empowers all sectors of society to combat human trafficking by educating and speaking internationally, as well as teaching law
She got hooked
enforcement,
up with Tim.
first responders, forensic staff, and communities about the horrifying reality of human trafficking.
And
Coco had come a long way since those early hellish
I'm gonna have to
days in
skip,
Germany.
okay?
And the Elizabeth Smart, her organization was reportedly merging with the Elizabeth Smart organization. Elizabeth
Who got dicked
Smart
over by Tim,
was
too.
herself a victim of horrible abuse and mistreatment for 9 months at the hands of deranged strangers. Smart now serves as a victims advocate, author, and inspirational speaker. Coco appeared on Elizabeth's Smart Talk podcast, and the two shared the stage at several events, including the Human Trafficking Policy Summit and the Maloof Foundation on
Maloof.
April
I know we've seen this in the paperwork. Maloof Foundation.
17th, 2021. In a move of pure empowerment, Coco would cover the same Celine Dion that inspired her escape
Okay,
from
here's
raise
the
funds for treatment. The page stated that this aggressive form of cancer has a 30% chance of survival and a life expectancy of just 2 to 5 years.
So she
As
went to
additional treatments
Huntsman.
and specialists in Chicago and Alaska. The support was overwhelming, and in just 2 weeks, over $10,000 was raised. After a
Drop in
lifetime
the
of
bucket.
battling adversity, it didn't seem fair that Coco had yet another mountain to climb
Okay, let's
towards
skip to
making
here.
cancer.
Sorry.
According to a booking affidavit, police began investigating Birthman in early February 2022 after receiving information she was claiming stage 3 cancer in order to obtain funds for treatment.
Oh, it's just, I mean, that's a sick. And remember whenever Melanie was like, she's the one that said that Lori said, you know, about JJ going back to my mom, Kay's, you know, the grandma's house in Louisiana. And Melanie was like, just tell her you have cancer or something. It's just nothing. It's nothing for them to just, you know, make some shit up. Lie for the Lord or whatever the hell. Or maybe they don't think it's wrong. You see, you know, that's why maybe Lori thinks what she's done has been done in righteousness. Or is it because she sacrificed her kids and she got duped? It's heavy.
Amy Bowler, who started the fundraiser, told detectives that Birthman showed her medical records indicating she was diagnosed
All
with
right.
cancer in January 2022. A detective called Birthman for proof, and because she was
All
too
right.
weak
I just
to
don't want to play so much, but I just kind of want to get to the little good parts.
and $50,000. After the news of her fraud was uncovered,
Right here.
many were slow to react. According to the American Crime Journal, organizations like the Maloof Foundation, Adaptive Ops, Operation Underground Railroad, and Utah Senator Mike Lee continue to either profit or benefit from the bogus human trafficking horror stories.
What the hell? That I was like, oh hell. I just don't catch all these things all the
Railroad
time.
and Utah Senator Mike Lee continue to either profit or benefit from the bogus human trafficking horror stories.
It's dirty.
Elizabeth Smart, however, was quick to cut all ties,
Go girl.
disgusted with the actions of Birthman. Coco Birthman is a predator of the worst kind. She knowingly and intentionally damaged
All right, let's
History of
scooch.
medicine. Up to 10% of all sexual assault allegations are
That's dangerous right
false.
there. That's wrong.
This picture was taken at the Human Trafficking Policy and Education Summit in April 2021. This is the same event where Elizabeth Smart and Coco Birthman
It's like I
would
feel like they
later
all know
share
each
the
other
stage
already.
together.
I don't
In
know.
the wildly circulated photo op, Utah Senator Mike Lee meets human trafficking survivors and activists Julie Whitehead,
Julie
Elizabeth
Whitehead.
Fraser,
I think that's
and
her.
Coco Birthman. In just 1 year, 2 of these 3 alleged victims were outed as frauds.
Yay.
Coco and the people like her make it unsafe for the community they claim to be passionately fighting for. Coco Birthman could have been a bright light for survivors. Instead, she is nothing more than a dark stain on the cloak of lies she
Wow.
wove one fabrication at a time.
Right. Anyway, so that story is very interesting. I encourage you to go check that out. I mean, you know, and so just this is a rabbit hole, and don't quite understand all this stuff. Okay, this is like a Freemason shit, and so I don't get it. But it's the only place that I really found, things like this, and so that's Paul Mitchell, and Eduardo Vestigue. He was there with the 12 apostles, right? In 2017. So, I mean, again, this is the only place I could find Tim's brother, Craig Ballard. If it's, I'm pretty sure it's him. I need to corroborate that though. Anyways, but this is the Tim Ballard rabbit hole. I don't know. It's on Substack, and I want to get to the part. Okay, whoop, I saw his big logger head. I don't even know who this is, but is it up here? Okay, meet Vicente. I don't know how to say that. Fox. He was the president of Mexico from 2000 to 2007. The OUR website used to have a page that said, quote, that desire led to Verestigue, I guess that's how you say it, introducing Ballard to Mr. Fox. I was able to see the quote for a search engine. Oh, that's unquote. Okay. The link below is where the quote came from, but now it shows 404 error. Wow. And the Wayback Machine doesn't bring up the page link. Here's an interview with Fox from 2016, hating on Trump for trying to build his wall. This guy right here, Mr. Fox, was best friends with Bill Clinton when he was president of Mexico and was a staunch Hillary Clinton supporter. I haven't read all these. Eduardo Vestigue, he introduced Vicente Fox to Tim Ballard, just announced he's running for the president of Mexico. Lovely. Eduardo is. Okay. So I've seen where Tim has ties even in the Ukraine. So does David Levitt. Put a pin in that. And so that's already Colombia, the government there, Haitian, whatever. And then you have American. And then you have Mexico. They went to Britain too. I don't know how far they got there. What's the other one? Ukraine, which the church built a temple there. I remember them announcing that. I was like, whoa. Sorry. And it's just weird, and it's going to get a little more weird here. Hold your pearls. Eduardo Verestigue, I don't want to say his name, also played the character Paul Hutchinson is in The Sound of Freedom. Okay. Eduardo Verestigue endorsed John McCain. So Jason Mao took a picture with him. I don't know about endorsing, but I know he took a picture with him. And I mean, I can find it, just not right. I won't find it fast. But that's like a bunch of countries and a bunch of elites or, high up people that you don't just be like, hey, I'm coming into town. Will you pick me up from the airport? It's not like that. And it's weird. I find it weird. So Mexico has the largest body of LDS church members, Mormons. Outside of the United States, membership grew nearly 30% between 2011 and 2021. In the 2010 Mexican census, 314,932 individuals self-identified mostly closely to the LDS Church. Okay, what was the point of that? Oh, yeah. The colonist. Oh, my God, I got to sneeze. Maybe. The colonists came to Mexico due to federal attempts to curb and prosecute polygamy in the United States. Plural marriage, as polygamous relationships were called by church members, was an important tenet of the church. This, I really do feel like this is why the church was really like, we have to excommunicate you because you just went all crazy. You know, you're way too public now. But we still work together. That's how I see the church working with like Ervil LeBaron, Warren Jeffs. You know, I don't think they're like hate each other. They're church leaders and prophets and shit, right? Anyways. And they even accept and rebaptize pedophiles. So, I mean, there's that bombshell. Alex twice. There was one of these that were twice. Oh, Gordon Bowen. All right. Although it was never practiced by a majority of the membership. Members of the Romney family have roots in these colonies, including both Marion G. Romney and George W. Romney, having been born there. Angel Studios. This is who, basically, this is kind of how I see what Rex and Adam are doing. Kind of the pay it forward thing. I told Jason that. I was like, wait, that's kind of the same system. And I mean, okay. But it just is too close for comfort for me. Do what you will. You know, it's not about, I mean, when I see somebody homeless, I don't go and throw a $10 bill in their hand and then get mad at them for spending it on drugs or alcohol or cigarettes or, you know, toilet paper, whatever the hell. Once that, it's not about, it's about helping, but that's where it stops. Like, that's where I've done my part. Do what you will. You know, you cannot jack with nobody's free will, free agency in Mormonism. So, but I mean, it gets to be a little different when somebody peddles it to be one thing, you know, like if they're like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Okay. You like what I'm doing here? Well, come on over. And so this is where your money goes. And this is what we do. So just transparency, right? It's always good to have that. But they're like really either really smart or really sneaky. I don't know. Let me walk this through. So like how Angel Studios did the whole pay it forward type thing. It's like when I go get donuts, you know, sometimes we'll pay $20 behind us, whatever, pay it forward. We're paying it backwards. Same thing. But there's interest in this is where I'm getting. And so Angel Studios, basically, now they're saying, you know, basically that they fronted the movie, Sound of Freedom and everything. And so people that went and got all emotionally charged and moved and just pulling the heartstrings, pulling the puppet strings, pulling the wallet strings, pull them open. And so they're going to strike right there and get you with the sad music, with the horrible, horrible topic and issue of child and sexual trafficking. Who the F doesn't back that, right? I mean, I have seen that in this movement. There are a lot of people that really care, but they got burned by this prick and his friends, allegedly. And so that tends to turn people away from doing good. Do you see what I'm kind of saying there? So people are like, well, I ain't gonna fall for that shit again. You know, I gotta do it before. I'm not gonna do it again. And so then these things suffer, and humanity, we die a little more, you know? And it just sucks that people like this on a massive scale can influence so many people and bullshit them so hard. and still trying, straight up still trying. They're victims with faces now and voices, voices, statements, all kinds of things. And I mean, there's more. There's more. I know you've thought about it. And you can't even wrap your head around it. Where are the kids? What kids? Were there any kids? I don't think so. And if so, who was on the receiving end of that? Just saying, with all the adoptions and shit. I'm sorry, I need to stop. But Angel Studios, the creators of The Chosen and The Sound of Freedom, the Harmon brothers, okay? I learned from Ken Krog's presentation, boring, that the Harmon brothers a long time ago came up with the toothbrush or tongue brush or whatever. And anyways, so they went on that venture, and I mean, it's just all these people they're ballers. And I mean, so they don't have first world problems. I mean, third world problems or second. They're first class citizens, they're just blowing and going. They're untouchable. The creators of Angel Studios, the Harmon brothers, are Mormon, and the Mormon Church are the investors for The Chosen. So why did the Mormon Church feel it was okay to invest in, The Chosen, but not Sound of Freedom? Why? And then why has the movie never come out? The Jesus movie, Icon movie. That's what Lynn Packard calls it, the Icon Jesus movie or whatever. That the church has spent $20 million giving it to, or paying it to, allegedly, Gordon Bowen, who is named in the documents, the statements and everything from the Hamlin daughters. And he literally in these documents, allegedly, has skinned people and makes the girls wear the skins and stuff. It's some really sadistic stuff. And I don't know why they would make it up. I mean, it kind of, it fits. It's weird. And so, again, I think they're building up these psychopaths, deviants or whatever. Anyway, so The Chosen is pushing quotes from the Book of Mormon into the series. Mormons believe God was a physical man, had sex with Mary, and then she had Jesus. They also believe Jesus had 3 wives and that Joseph Smith is a descendant of Jesus. So that means right there, if you take that into account, that means Russell Ballard was related to Hiram Smith, which I think is like the grandson or something. I don't know. Don't school me. But in the Smith family. So he's a descendant of Jesus? Asking for a friend. Asking for an apostate. Or what are we? Gentiles. Angel. Okay, so this, whenever I was going live, when we were going live the other day with Lori in Arizona, this stuff right here, Angel, was playing in the video player for Fox 10 Phoenix. I was on their website, their actual website. And so Angel Studios, this right here, was flashing, and I was like, what the hell? And I didn't have it videoed because it was not on screen. I wasn't sharing that screen. And anyways, interesting, right? The Empty Tomb, Sound of Freedom, Larimer. I don't know. It means something. I don't know where she's going with all this, but it can be found in the Dominican Republic, which is right next to Haiti. Okay. Oh Lord. I don't know. I'm gonna skip all this because I just want to get to. Oh my God, I'm wheezing. Oh, there's Krampus. That's freaky. And so this is, who is that? We're gonna finish soon. Paul Hutchinson is a knight. He's been knighted a couple times. I know that. I mean, I chased his bios down too. Speaking of weird. Aleister Crowley. That's Lee or something. Wait, who is that? Albert Pike. Yeah. Ugh. Tim Ballard, Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes, and executive producer of Sound of Freedom, Paul Hutchinson, are all part of the Knights Templar Secret Society. Okay. All three of them have also worked extensively with Operation Underground Railroad. I'd say so. Kind of ran it into the ground if it ever even had a chance. It gets interesting though, for real. Timothy Blaine Ballard, Kirk Emil Chappell, Jerry. I don't know how to say all these things, but honorable. What is that? Honorable mention or something? Priory of man. Oh my God, I can't read today for sure. Templar Code of Honor. Oh gosh. Oh, it reminds me of what John Dehlin has for tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night on their new little Mormon News Times or something. Mormon Times News. I don't know how they're going to cover the current events. Be without fear in the face of your enemy. Stand brave and upright, that the Lord may love thee. Speak the truth always, even if it means your death. Protect the helpless and do no wrong. Ooh, it reminds me of Jason Mao. And this dude creeps me out. I'm just straight up. I'm like, what? Oh God. It's like he's not all there or something. I don't mean that ugly. This I watched a long time ago, and this is from the Joseph Smith Foundation. This is Hannah Stoddard and Tim Ballard telling us that the pentagram is not bad. It's not. That's what they said. So many times they're like, oh no, that's just what history is telling you. And that's exactly what David Barton does. This David Barton that's on the Southern Poverty Law Center website as an extremist evangelist. There you go. I said it. And he is in the Nazarene Fund with Glenn Beck, Timmy Ballard, and David Barton. That's the Nazarene Fund. And I believe Mercury won too. Not sure. I don't have that right in front of me, but yeah. And so there's interest there. There is a level of trust, I think so. And what are all these bad or these egotistical people doing? What are they doing? What's their end game? What are they up to?
A lot of the things that Masons do are things that are very familiar to Latter-day Saints who participate in temple worship.
Black and white floor.
And the question we have to ask is, why did this group, first of all, why did they possess them? And that's a mystery. There's a lot of theory behind it.
First off, why did they possess what? I don't trust these people.
A lot of people believe that these symbols and signs of Masonry were preserved through the days of the ancient Israelites and Solomon's temple, and that Jesus Christ himself taught these principles in mortality, and that they were things that were given to the apostles. And that somehow this group of what we call the Masons, perhaps through a Templar connection, perhaps through another way, through the apostasy, they preserved these signs and symbols.
Okay, and so David Barton is teaching the same type stuff, and so he's writing the same kind of books like Tim Ballard, and so I read the comments because I really don't know this guy, this David Barton, and I've seen his face over and over again because he was on the same Preparing a People flyers, Firm Foundation flyers, Book of Mormon Evidence. The Wall Builders is his organization, and I remember thinking, isn't that Mike and Nancy James too? But I think theirs might actually be a real wall or something. And I mean, his could be too. I haven't gotten a chance to look into it yet. Let me type it in real quick. Mike and Nancy James. I'm sorry. I'm going along. I feel like I am. I'm sorry. Let's look. Let me do wall. Let me just put wall. Let's see what comes up. I'm gonna let y'all look with me. Let's see. No, I mean, her name is Nancy Payne, Payne. Let me go take the wall out. It's like, oh wait, theirs is called Endura or something. Endura. I don't know. Let's see what comes up. What is this? Oh, it's like it looks familiar. Okay, it's called Endura. Okay, all right. So, but they're still friends. Just know that. There's Mike and Nancy. they have so many freaking businesses. I mean, like, I remember, like, oh my God, it's like, you know how they pick and say, at least they used to on Saturday Night Live, like the Jamaicans had a lot of jobs. And I was like, okay, I'm getting those kind of vibes. But anywho, well, all right, let me shut this one. And all right, let me shut let me close some damn windows, right? Anyways, there's just so many, again, rabbit holes that you can go down, and it's easy. It is so easy. I mean, I'm in one now, I feel like. But I know it's like not time wasted. I do feel, I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with this kind of knowledge? Where, and not that I set out to do that, but I've spent so much time in my life already, 4 years. And it's so specific, and it's doomsday prophecy. But I've learned a lot about their beliefs, and I may not be at the point still where I can really explain it, but I can point it out. I see it like nobody's business, and I just need help translating that. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I need help maybe with somebody saying, okay, can be patient with me, and probably a counselor, right? But I need to write a book too as I'm going through all this stuff, because it's all like, I'll pick up a folder, all about tangible things, and I'll pick up a folder, and I found right here, and it's the transcript. It's just, I always find something. I'm like, oh yeah, and this is the transcript from when Rob Wood was talking to Summer Shiflett, and he says, this is whenever they were trying to get Rob Wood kicked off of the case. This page. Okay, well, no. Rob Wood says, the destruction of that body, and yeah, we hope we'll find out. We may not, but obviously we know it's her. There was soft tissue that was still preserved enough to do DNA tests. Miss Shiflett, yeah, thankfully you guys found them. Mr. Wood, yeah. Miss Shiflett, like, we wouldn't have ever known. Mr. Smith, yeah. Miss Shiflett, and I would have never dreamed that she would ever hurt them. So Mr. Wood says, you know what? And everyone says that. Miss Shiflett says, yes. I'm just going to say Summer from here on out. And Rob. That's what everybody says. Rob Wood says, I never would have. So it's a tragic thing. Summer says, it really is. Yeah. Rob says, but I just want you to know how grateful we are. I know, you don't have to talk to us. And so we're just grateful that you're willing to, and helping us that way. And I'm sure it's kind of difficult knowing, like, they're asking me for information that's going to help them in a case against your sister. But I guess the thing I want to know is, our whole goal is just justice for these kids, Summer says, yeah. Mr. Wood says, and our hope is it comes to your sister's actually made some overtures. She might be willing to talk to us. Summer says, I hope she does. I pray for that all the time. Rob says, we hope she does. Summer says, yeah. Rob says, she actually was talking with Chad about talking to us before we found the bodies, just a few days before, and he talked her out of it. Summer says, Rob says, which is too bad. It would have been better for her to tell us. Mr. Smith says, yeah, sure would have been. Summer says, I agree. Rob says, we were actually just finishing up our warrant on the day that she said that. We were just getting ready to go out there, but it would have been, That would have been even better. And he talked her out of it. This is Chad. Summer says, yeah. Rob says. And then the night before, I had to take a sip. There's a damn dog barking his ass off. Ah. Oh, hell. Okay. Overtures. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. I don't know. I'm just going to read it again. If I did already, I'm sorry. I hope she does. Okay. Well. She actually was talking with Chad about talking to us before we found the bodies, just a few days before, and he talked her out of it. Summer says, Rob says, which is too bad. It would have been better for her to tell us. Mr. Smith says, yeah, sure would have been. Summer says, I agree. Rob, I mean, we were actually just finishing up our warrant on the day that she said that. We were just getting ready to go out there, but it would have been, that would have been even, I went way back, even better. And he talked her out of it. Summer says, yes. Rob says, and then the night before she says to him like, hey, what do you think about, and he uses this kind of, I call it spiritual abuse, spiritual manipulation. Summer says, yeah. Rob says, we've all seen that guy in the LDS religion whose wife has to obey him because he has the priesthood type thing. And that's not what he says, but it's the same type of thing. Mr. Smith says, Mr. Wood, Rob says, quote, well, I'm the visionary guy, unquote. So, I'm just saying it's interesting. And I need to get a hold of Allegedly Innocent. She's doing a replay of the Chad stuff too. So I want to see if she wants to team up. Do it together. We can stream it to each our channels. So anyway, again, I just want to meet with you real quick. This is Rob. Introduce myself and Mackenzie. Summer says, yeah, well, I've obviously seen you. Rob says, yes, yeah, yeah. Summer says, but I don't take any joy in doing anything that's going to harm her. I don't take joy in her spending her life in prison. There's nothing. Rob says, sure. Summer says, it hurts to think about her being in there. Mr. Wood, there's nothing good about a case like this, right? That's out of context. There's nothing good about it. Okay, anyways. Right here. Rob says, but the one thing, I said this to someone the other day who knows your sister. Okay. Our goal is sometimes you get a murder and all you have is that murder and you just have to run out and charge it and then kind of put it together. We are able to put them in jail with a high bail on these lower charges and put together our case. And our goal is to have such a strong case that when she has wow. And our goal is to have such a strong case that when she has competent counsel, I don't know if you know this, her attorney has never handled a felony before. Summer says, Wood says he has never done any meaningful criminal work at all, and he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a nice guy. Passive aggressive a little, huh? Mr. Wood, Summer says, yeah, I've met him. Mr. Wood says, other than that, he's lying about me, but he doesn't know what he's doing. And once we file further charges, oh my God, I just kind of am noticing something. Kind of what I always thought. Just please don't be yes men. Tell me no. Oh wow. Where'd it go? Other than when he's lying about me, but he doesn't know what he's doing. And once we file further charges, she will be appointed counsel who will know what they are doing. And our goal is to put together such a case that they're smart enough to say, it's going to be better to talk. That just sounds really gross right there. Am I wrong? Just that whole part, like Like, that's a conspiracy in a sense. It's like they have a plot. And I mean, I just don't like dirty shit. None of it. If you got a good case, then don't worry about our damn counsel. Ain't not your problem. Do what you do. Like, I don't understand. He says, other than when he's lying about me, he doesn't know what he's doing. And once we file further charges, murder, indict her, right? Then she went to the mental ward. And then they appointed counsel. And she called the church. And they put a gag order on Mark Means. I talked to him. I have his phone number, actually. Anyways. There was nothing about anything details. I was just like, am I going in the right direction as far as what I research, what I'm doing? And he was like, you're definitely on the right road. And I mean, very vague, right? And I approached him. He didn't approach me. I don't know. That just sounds dirty to me. That's just me. What do I know? just over here. But anyway, so I really do appreciate y'all. I know it's been kind of, up and down, and today has not been a good day. Control damage. Yeah. That was the prosecutor. That was the prosecutor, Rob Wood. Just now. I just think they are good people. It's hard for me to separate the church from the state, literally, like that. As far as and I have to separate my appreciation, my respect, my love, my soul. I just feel a lot of compassion, empathy for them, for what they've had to go through. This has not been easy. It's not. Murder's not pretty. It's just not. It's messy and it's ugly. And we know the end. We know the end. We know it ended in murder of children and innocent, unsuspecting spouses. What the hell? I look like I got feathered hair or something. Oh, thank you. Let me see. I'm so not put together today. Look at this stuff. But I just want people to be not better than me. I'm not asking for anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do. It's just like match my effort, And so if it were my case, if it was my trial and I was in that position, I would want a fair trial. I mean, you did what you did. You're going to get what you're going to get. And it just is what it is. I don't know. It would take a loophole. It would take a miracle. Let me use their words. It would take a miracle. Or just one juror that has reasonable doubt or whatever. I don't really know about the death penalty thing. And I really just wish that they would take that off the table. I mean, it's not like they do anything with it. You're going to die anyways in jail. Me and Jason, we both feel the same way about that. Thank you, TC. I am definitely going to take care of myself after we get off of here. There's just so much. I mean, I still have so much to talk to y'all about, but I mean, we can't. It's been 3 hours. But I don't know. I've just been following my intuition. I've been following and reading and educating myself so that I'm not ignorant, so that I know the difference. I may not be able to explain Mormonism. I don't think a Mormon, I don't think the prophets and the seers and revelators can. It's not meant to be understood. I really think. I think it's meant to be that way. But I just know that a lot of these people that I study, that I research, this brood, this whatever, like-minded people, they all use the scriptures. It's like manipulation through the scriptures. And I don't know. I don't have the answers for that, but it's I know, right, Candy? And me and Mom actually went to Rexburg during this hearing. It's on YouTube. I have it on my no. Yeah, I didn't know how to stream at that time. It was January 5th, 2021. There you go. Because Lori was supposed to go to a hearing, but she didn't. And so, but me and Mom had tickets, plane tickets and everything. And so instead of canceling, we just went ahead and flew up there, and which I was so appreciative of, because I got to go without all the overwhelmingness that comes with. Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Mojo. That's so sweet. Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, so they had court. I watched it on A1 Reese. Like, me and Mom, we were driving back to Salt Lake City from Rexburg. And so we got there. I don't know what day we got there, but I went and visited Chad's property. I wanted to be everywhere that Tylee and JJ were. It was just me. It's like I had to go be there and step where they stepped and stand where they stood, and you just kind of take it all in, because that's where those babies took their last breath, and we couldn't find them. And I just feel like just couldn't get to them in time. And it's just, that's a devastating it's such a mind effery, but you can't change it. As much as I want to, if I went and sought revenge, and that's what I'm not doing. I'm not doing that here. I hope that's not how I come off. I know I tend to come off that way, or really aggressive, but I'm not. I just want to get to the root of the problem, because until there's a problem admitted or acknowledged, then and only then can we move forward. Then and only then can we sit across from each other and say, okay, here's problem. Okay, how do we fix this? Do you want to fix it? Yeah, it takes two to tango. And I feel like the church doesn't think that they have a problem. They think we have the problem with the church. It's very one-sided. They're always in my heart, yes. And there's so many times in my life when I discounted and silenced my own. You have that internal system, and it's like we're being taught, or I've seen this around, where people are like, don't trust your feelings, that's not fact. But again, I think they all work, all these things in what's that word? They work in harmony. They work together. They're like the gears, and so your body, mind, and your soul, like all those things. Yes, cognitive dissonance. Yes, do your own research. Stop buying people at their word. Don't buy me at my word. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about like that. I'll tell you if I do. This is the research. This is my process. This is my journey with you, and oh my gosh. And I'm so thankful that you are here. I really am. I think that every family who ever is faced with this kind of horrific nightmare, I think that everybody needs this community, a community around them, to rally around them. There's nothing in the world like it. Nothing. I feel like I want to reciprocate it so bad, I'm just like, what can I do for you? Not like Lori, not like that. I'm sorry. But you know what I mean? And that's just that's just how I am. That's how Jason is. That's how we are. We want to help. We don't want to be helped, but we want to help, and it's humanity, and it's beautiful. It's not all doom and gloom and murder and pain and suffering. It's not all that. These are trials. These are tribulations. They are. And it's just how you end up on the other side of it. You know, you can't go around it. You have to go through it. And it's painful. Yeah. But I mean, at least I get to do it with some badass people who are just awesome. You guys are always. Thank you so much, Mojo. I hope that whenever we do finally make arrangements for Tylee, or hopefully Tylee, I can't say Tylee legally because I will not have her remains. It's a very frustrating feeling. Everybody's had so much control over every other aspect. I mean, my nephew's in a box, you know, is in a box. But it's weird because, not weird, it's really just goes to show you that I knew that he was on his way home, right? And he's been home. JJ, his remains have been home for, I don't know, a month, I guess. They put the wrong death date on the box, and I mean, just we're like, I'm like, well, now it's like a whole damn block of a week. And I gotta block out the whole damn week, you know? It's weird. And then the funeral home or the crematory is Wood. Just saying. I was like, Wood. Wood. Who do we know? Rob Wood. So, anyways, but just to be in the same room with JJ's remains, it brings some sort of peace. And I mean, again, it's not about me. It's not about Mom. It's not about Larry. It's not about none of us, nobody. It's about respecting their remains and giving them proper burials, sending them off, you know, honorably. Chad Daybell, in my opinion, allegedly, is the only person that has had that privilege, and he took that away from us. He is a monster. He's a depraved individual. And while I've always held Lori a little bit more culpable in my own little right here, not outside, but as a mom, that's how I look at Lori. You're a freaking mom. You had one job, and it was not to hurt your children or put them into harm's way. Was Ruby Frankie well on her way to Lori Vallow land? Was Melanie Pulowski well on her way to Lori Vallow Daybell land? Where does this go? Where does it stop? Where's the ceiling in this thing? Who's gaining from this? Because it's either, in this story, it's either murder, you're dead, wiping out people, snuffing them out, grading, berating, naming, distancing, dehumanizing, desecrating. It's just, what's the end game? Okay, you know, we get to be together. No, that just doesn't. It just doesn't add up to me. I feel like there's more, and I'm sure it will all come out in the wash. It has already, and I'm not happy. I'm not like, yay, yeah, I just smiled, but it's like, because I know my intuition, everything inside me is like that right there. I don't know how, I don't know what, I can't explain all that to you. All I can do is tell you I'm just like, I don't, I don't like these people. There's something about them that is just, it's just like Lori and Chad, if not worse, which is pretty gross, right? I mean, I actually, and I thought about this last night. I was like, I actually would trust Lori and Chad over all these people. That tells you something. I'm just saying. And I mean, to an extent. Because I think that they got duped as well, by somebody higher in the food chain. There's somebody who is gaining off of the pain, the suffering, the exploitation, the money. I mean, they do pay 10% into the into the back into the institution. What do they call it? Fire drill, fire money, fire. I don't remember. I know. Yeah, I don't cannot make me believe that that was just woo by chance. We all, me, my mom, my dad, I know that, and Jason, I mean, we all feel that way. We're like that. She's not crazy. She has not lost it yet in where I'm from, how I see it. I do not see her. She never checked out. She's gonna, and it's gonna be bad. And I remember Uncle Charles telling my Uncle Bobby, what's gonna happen? This is his words. Uncle Charles said, what's gonna happen when Lori comes down from this? And I think about that. And then it bothers me. Love, you know? He may have gotten him murdered, but at least he died being who he was and not having to pretend that he lived in other lifetimes and stuff to, deal with his wife, who was not crazy. She did not check out. She was just repeating the language from the ceremonies that she was sealed in by her leaders in their church, in their temple on a Sunday. I mean, they have a Friday there. I'll take it. But they're not going to ever say that they're open on a Sunday, because they're not open on a Sunday. And that's when second anointings happen. And I believe that the church set up Lori and Chad. I don't think they met through his books, his stupid ass books. I don't think so. I don't think none of that happened. I think that the church, this is how they practice modern day polygamy. Mm-hmm. They'll never say so. They will never, ever even acknowledge this. They have not. They just send me LDS ads and stuff. I pay for premium, but people send me ads for like Malachite. I'm like, really? On my channel? Oh my God. LDS coaching, life coaching. I'm like, oh my gosh. They own some stock in Google and Apple and all the other big things. But what do you do when you know that the same people who are responsible for your family's murders, and more than a lot of people really think, there's some culpability there, in my opinion. And it's wrong. It's no different than Chandler. It's no different than any other system that failed the victims. No different. And if anything, it's worse, because you're representing God, Jesus. It's in your name, church. And that is sick. I blame her. I blame Lori. I blame Chad. I blame them. They got their asses. They could have both said, no, thank you. We'll pass. We'll just go and soak somewhere else. Right? They will go soak. Think about this. I was thinking about this with Tim and them. Can't spell victim without Tim, first off. There's that. And then I told Jason earlier, I was like, okay, so they did all this fraud and just straight deception from the moment go. Okay, from the time Tim stepped out of his mommy's womb. I mean, he was going. And I was like, so this whole time, and I'm not victim shaming. This is about Tim and the friends. And so it's not, maybe I shouldn't, I don't know how to say it, but it's like they went through all these measures and deceived so many people, and I'm like, there's no way they do all these freaking podcasts. And I mean, I'm just like, like, what is, how do they have time for all this shit and 9 kids at home? What? And you're running all these nonprofits. I can't even read the damn book on how to start a nonprofit, and then they freak me out because they are all dirty. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm good for right now. Not till I can research it and learn how to do this, I want to do it right or figure out a different way that will be more helpful. I don't know. But I was like, so they did all this. I said, and Tim never had sex. If you think about it, it's some loopholes. And all that's what they do because of what Mormonism does to their members. And it's like it stunts them in a way. And I don't mean this to anybody here who's been Mormon, who is Mormon, who is maybe going to be a Mormon. My uncle was Mormon. So was my nephew. So was my cousin. So was my aunt. So was that whole family over there. Okay. And it just never was a thing for us. But all I'm saying is when you tell people that they can't do something, they are 144,000% going to do something. And so it's just a matter of, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But say, that's why I'm here. I'm here. I exist because my mom was like, I ain't taking no for an answer. You know what I mean? My grandfather told my real dad, he was like, yeah, I don't want you seeing my daughter anymore. And it was nothing against my dad. It was just like my mom was 16. My dad was 19. You know. And so my dad, he was, poor kid or whatever, grew up with my grandmother raising 7 on her own after a while, divorced and everything. And I mean, she was like a barmaid, whatever, and but my mom and them, they were, and my grandpa and Uncle Charles, all them, the Vallows were, a little more middle class, maybe lower. I don't know. I've never added up all their finances, but just a more, I don't know. Anyways, and so, my grandfather, my Papa Vallow, asked my dad to, just maybe stop seeing his daughter. And my dad was like, okay, yeah. All right, Mr. Leland. He still talks really highly of my Papa, who, because he was so respectful to me. But my mom was like, oh, hell no. And here I am. Okay. So here I am. My little a bastard. Proud of it. No, I'm just saying, you tell people no, they have it in their head, their minds, they're going to do what they want to do. But like Larry says, there's a choice and there's a consequence. With your mom's help, right? It takes a village, right? Yeah, you guys are so strong and smart and kind and loving and real, and I love that. I gotta start losing some weight. Anyways, all right, we're gonna go because I'm still just a jibber jabbering. It takes deconstructing from it to be okay. Squashing someone's spirit kills that spirit. And that, yes, Lori to Joe. Lori was in the midst of doing this to my uncle. You could see it. There's a moment. And we're going to go again. I got to reach out to Allegedly Innocent. I noticed her. I love her channel. She's in the psychology field. So that would be really interesting. I like her take. She's from Texas. And she's going over Chad Daybell's preliminary hearings, and it's basically the same thing. I was like, oh wow, I did not see hers. I wasn't even subscribed, so I had to like resubscribe. I was like, oh hell no. That's weird. And so I did resubscribe, click the notification bells to all for Allegedly Innocent. And so since she's doing this too, and she's exactly where we were, we did part 1. We couldn't do part 2 because of Lori, her court hearing that day. So Sunday, wait, today is Sunday. Tuesday we'll do part, the next part of the preliminary hearing for Chad. But I'm gonna see if she wants to, if allegedly innocent wants to join, and we can in StreamYard you can stream to both channels at the same time. It's simulcasting. I don't know, just it's an idea, and so I want to, yeah, to know. So I just want to see if maybe she'd be interested. I like her, and she's witty, and it's kind of cool to have somebody like that, and you can just kind of be like, well, what do you think? It would just be nice to have some feedback, Dr. Pepper on ice, right? Yeah, I know, Lily. It went so different in your family. Why? She did. Jason is of the opinion that it's gonna hurt saying, I think I've said it, I'm sure, before, but he thinks that Charles maybe had to be on his knees and maybe begging for his life. Maybe. I don't know. I'm, it's just so painful. It just really is. It just doesn't even feel real sometimes. And I mean, it's a grief cycle, I'm not depressed. It's just one of those little, you got to go through it. I have to go through it. I have to talk about it. I have to think, there's just these things. Sometimes I can see their pictures, and I mean, they're everywhere, they're everywhere. And that's just my comfort, though. Not everybody is like that. And that is fine. But it's different for everybody, I do believe. And that felt good. I know that the things don't happen for nothing. Things happen. There's lessons to be learned. There are changes to be made. Because that whole insanity thing comes to mind, and it's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And I did that for so long. And this is like right in 2018, I stopped drinking. I don't know. Something just I snapped one day, not in a bad way, but I was just like, what am I doing? I'm so unhappy. I'm just ready. I'm just done, and I had been estranged from my son for 6 years. That's the hardest. I think that's harder than murder and all this, because it's two different ways. My mom used to say, well, and she had buried a couple of her kids by that time, her granddaughter. And she would say, well, at least your son's still breathing. And I was just like, that's shitty. But then I'm like, she's right. But then you're like, but I feel rejected. Where do I go? Where do I start from? How do I initiate? How do you get all that back? You don't. I really don't think you do. You just have to kind of pick up and be willing to continue. Resilience. Yo. It is. But it's also, it depends on how you look at it. If it was, terrible, it was terrible. It was horrible. Grieving somebody that, I mean, he came out of my body. And I mean, that's my son, my children, that's what I'm saying. Mothers don't do this to their children. No. But I didn't know what was to learn through all that besides, I mean, I felt like I was so guarded, I was like, here I have my daughter, and I'm just like, well, I still have to be her mom, but I'm not even all the way here because my son's over there and I don't know how he's doing. I don't know what he sounds like. I don't know what he smells like. I don't know what he eats. I don't know. I just wanted to hold him, and I mean, he'll be 24 this year, January 1st. Ashlyn will be 18 on Joseph Smith's birthday. Yeah, he's a civil. Yeah, and he's back. He came back just as JJ. It's crazy. And so hear me out. We're gonna finish on this. I promise, Don. and Beach Bum and James, and oh, I don't know if Mary's here. I haven't been able to, haven't seen her, but anyways, and Trace. But it's like, okay, so JJ was born in 2012, May of 2012. Zach, my son, was he would always go to his dad's, and I mean, we lived in the same town, okay, but he would go more to his dad's during the summer. I would see less of him during the summer. And I never sought child support. None of that. Just be a dad. That's all. I just want you to be a dad. That's all you got to worry about. And well, it was May, school lets out, the end of May. And so JJ was born, came into the world fighting. I mean, was just this tiny little baby. I did not think he was going to make it then. I did not. I was there at the hospital when he was born. That was my first honor to be an aunt. That is just, I don't know. There's just something really cool about that title for me. I look at my aunts like this. I look at my uncles like this. It's like they're versions of your parents, but cooler, or you know what I mean. Some of them, they're all different. And I never really thought about it before, but my brother, he's my brother, and he had a baby with Mandy, and he came into this world. I didn't care how he got here. Doesn't matter how Kanan, aka JJ, got here. As long as he got here, he's here, And I was just like, oh my God, okay, yay. I was so excited. I was just trying to be positive about it. And then it just, I know he had problems. And then I don't really understand how all that went down. I tend to stay in my own lane. I'm just kind of see stuff in the peripheral, and I'm just like, not my monkeys, not my circus. I just don't interject into stuff. And I mean, that's between them. But when my mom did tell me, and this was months later, my mom was like, over the phone, she told me that Charles and Lori were going to adopt JJ. And I was like, why? It was nothing against them. It was just, well, we can do it. We got this. And it wasn't about that. It wasn't that they couldn't or we couldn't. It had nothing to do with that. It would have to have some, because my mom and Larry's 14 years older than my mom. And my mom is, I don't know, she was born in 61. Anyways. And it's just, what you can provide and not provide. Your limit, yourself, you're like, yeah, I probably wouldn't be cut out for that. I'd be more like a grandma, not so much a mom with all that energy. Can you imagine having, like me, I'm 45. I couldn't imagine having a baby right now, but it'd be a lot better than if I'm 60 and have a baby or a grandbaby or whatever. That's a lifestyle change. And they were working every damn day. It was the oil business. They did transportation for the oil companies, for the workers. Oh, 2 pounds 9 ounces. Oh, that is miraculous. Oh, I'm so glad. She's 62. Well, she's about to be 63 then, because her birthday is the day after Alex's, which is January 19th. Alex's is January 18th. That's when Lori has her next hearing. Isn't that special, right? But anyway, so as JJ came into the world in 2012, my son kind of exited. And it's like they did this. Because as my son came back 6 years later, JJ went out. Does that make sense? It's like they got to like clap hands on their way, like ships passing in the night. Zach on his way out, JJ on his way in, then JJ on his way out, and Zach on his way in. I mean, literally, that video footage I have of us at my Uncle Bobby's in the shop singing happy birthday to my son for the first time in 6 years. It was New Year's Eve, and JJ was there. He was kind of following. I was just kind of, I don't know, being me. And I went to round up the kids. And I'm like, come on, kids. And like, he's right behind me. And I'm like, oh, look. And I mean, he would leave notes, like around Mom and Larry's kitchen and like, don't touch this. He was very territorial. And I was like that too. I mean, not, it's just like, don't cross this line. Okay. Yeah. It's boundaries. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with boundaries. I'm just kidding. It was probably just me being a bully, but I just really was lonely as a kid. I really was until my brother came along when I was like 8, and he God bless me with my brother. I wasn't alone. I mean, it's somebody to play with. It's somebody, I don't know. He entertained me. I entertained him. But my brother doesn't have any other children. And what really, really disturbs me is that Mandy had another baby after JJ. And she's living. And Charles and Lori tried to adopt her too. I don't know why that didn't happen. I don't know what had to fall through. But she's alive. Would there be 3 bodies buried and found and unearthed on Chad Daybell's property if JJ's half-sister would have been adopted into the grips of Lori? It's I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that, and I'm glad that she's alive and thriving, and that wasn't her fate, and Lori was going to name her Tabitha. I remember that too. I was like, that's kind of different. I have a friend named Tabitha, but I just remember that stands out. Anyways. All right, I'm tired, so I'm just babbling, but you were 5 years older. It's like a live baby doll, huh? 24 older? Oh, 24 years older than, oh my God. But right? It's like hard. I wouldn't, if I knew that and again, my mom, I was mad at her for a long time. I was like, we can do it. But I was being selfish. And that moment, in that time, looking and just thinking about it, how it would affect JJ's life without any sight into the future. Okay. Nobody saw this coming. Trust me. I didn't. I did not. I don't see in the future. But it just was the best for him. It was being selfless instead of selfish, which is what we tend to do just by human nature. We're just like, no, mine. I'm gonna pet it and love it and hug it. And then, you don't do any of those things. And, it's not best for the baby, the kid, the child to be nurtured and to thrive and grow to their fullest potential, and that's something that Uncle Charles did do, is he participated more in like JJ's milestones. Like, he was all about it and not so much Lori. That is something that's really stands out, right? Like just little things. And I mean, they were big things because like he was still wearing adult, the nighttime diapers, again, then you're ripping them off his medicine, you swinging them from pillow to post because you're whoring around in the temples and stuff with another married man. And I mean, and kids can feel that. We don't give them enough credit. They're intuitive. They feel our emotions. They feel our anxiety, all those things. They sense that. And so anyways, I don't know. I'm just, for Tylee, how she was gnawing on her fingernails and popping them and everything. She popped, I think, every bone in her damn body. I was like, oh my gosh. It's just like, oh, you're going to get arthritis. But my daughter does that too, but it is a nervous thing. I have anxiety too. And I mean, I can't imagine already having this. Maybe she was already anxious. And so this is compiled on top of that. So it's like more trauma and more trauma and more. And it's just piled on top of, and she had to hold all that in, I do believe. And maybe I think her friends were the only out that she had. I really do. And it's tragic. I hate what happened between her and Joe. And how Lori, even, I really don't think that that Tylee hated Charles. I don't think that at all. I hated my stepdad too. I didn't want him to die. You know what I mean? Like, I was a little bee. I was a little bitch. I was just like, this is my house. Okay. What you gonna do? I'm 14. Come at me, bro. I'm just saying. It wasn't Larry, but still. I mean, it's just, I don't know. But Charles was around long enough. I mean, she was 3. And I mean, I remember this at that ranch that we went to in Austin when Lori and Charles they got married in Vegas, and then we had a gathering of the families. I slept under the same roof with the Cox family. Right? Just think about that for a second. Barry was writing his book on how to cheat the IRS. I'm kidding. He was not. But Lori and Janice and Barry, I remember like Lori would be like, okay, I'm going to walk. And I mean, it's just nothing but rocks and hills, and, we're on a big hill, but nothing but property and horse riding. And I mean, it was like freaking Disneyland, but without all the weird shit and high prices. But anyway, but they would go walk, and I'm just like, gosh, she's a freaking health nut, and then Janice would go too, and Barry would go too. And I'm like, good Lord. Okay. It was like how Mom explains it, how it's like the little ducks following in a row. Lori led the pack. And I think that I'm just saying, I don't know. This is just me as an outsider looking in. I just see where I think that Lori was the meal ticket. Lori had to be beautiful. She had to have presence and poise and learn how to, charm the fellas. And it reminds me of Reba singing Fancy Was her name, right? Fancy. And exploited, because that's what is learned. I do believe, and I see this over and over and over again, not in everybody, but in a lot of these people from this faith, exploitation. It's like it doesn't even go under their radar, How am I exploiting my kids? And you're just like, holy crap. And I just think that they're taught that, and they don't know. Unless you have diversity and you can do culture check, you're like, oh, okay, I see how they're doing it over there. Oh, okay, they're doing it like this over there. And then you kind of balance out, I think. All right, I'm going to go. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Well, I don't know if her dad paid for her tatas or if Joe did, I mean, but it's like, everything's conditional too. That's another thing that's rampant. It's like, well, I love you, but only if you believe in the same, you don't have a faith crisis and you don't fall away from the church. If you fall away from the church, I can't talk to you. Sorry, you're an outsider. And then it's just crazy. Do you think he wanted to see them? I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. He was a temple worker, so there you go. Here's that one. Ugh. Just no more temples, right? Oh, maybe so. It could be. I know. I think I'm going to go give my, wait, how do you say that? So I don't mess it up. I'm going to go give my pillow some head and how's that go? Pillow some head, and I don't remember. I messed it up. All right, gotta go. Love you guys. Thank you. Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Love always wins. You guys are proof of this. I'll see you next Tuesday for Chatty Daddy.